Hong Kong's hospitals on the verge of being overwhelmed by a record number of new coronavirus infections.
China's leader Xi Jinping has weighed in on Hong Kong's current coronavirus spike, saying it's the local government's overriding task to control the situation. Hong Kong is currently facing its worst outbreak of the pandemic, topping 2,000 new COVID-19 cases a day, with healthcare facilities beginning to overflow. Chief Executive Carrie Lam has been sticking to the zero COVID policy, despite geographical and other differences between the city and China itself. She has been able to control the virus within borders, a strict zero-tolerance policy that involves total lockdowns and mass testing of millions. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Biden administration tells Congress it needs an additional $30 billion for the fight against COVID-19, even though the virus is fading. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm back in body.
Welcome back.
I don't know about in spirit so much.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I don't have a fever anymore. That's good.
That is good.
And all's good on the COVID world. I'm just
you've checked. You're not. It's not that.
I'm cold.
Yeah.
But
There can be other things, folks. It's not just the Rona.
it's kind of moving in my chest, though. So I
Yeah.
apologize if I sound a little hoarse-ish. In my head, I do. I don't know if I sound that way.
I think you sound like a normal-sized human,
Oh, good.
not a little horse.
In my head, I sound rough.
You sound like a little horse.
Little horse.
Hey, Mike.
Mr. Ed, but miniature.
Tiny little horse. Keep in mind your desk. Hey, Mike.
Master Ed, if you will.
Master Ed. Yes.
Kids are like, what's happening? Look it up. You'll figure it out. That was a term of old times. Like when we were little kids, and we would get like a $5 Easter check from your great aunt. It would be from Master Michael Winters.
Yes.
Yeah. That was back then.
Master.
Yeah. But now I'm not a master. I'm a mister.
You're a mister.
Yep, allegedly.
You went from master to mister. But then you can become a master
I
again.
feel like it's downgraded it.
You can become a master, Mr. Master.
Or mixed master.
Ooh, what about Mr. Master?
Mr. Master.
You may check that program.
I'm pretty sure, that's available.
So Master is young,
Uh-huh.
but Mr. is old.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't aware of the difference between the two.
When you were kids back in the day, they, like you usually always saw it in formal correspondence, like letters and cards. It would
Right.
be Master Michael. But yeah, it was.
I've been calling you Mixed Master Mike since the day. I mean, since which, by the way, was a Wednesday.
Which, ironically enough, I have zero DJ spinning skills.
Oh, I get it.
I talk on radio, but I can't play chicken dance.
I can't remember. It was years and years ago. I heard a lyric, and it was just Mixed Master Mike. What you got to say? Damn, that DJ made my day. So it's just stuck in my head.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
We'll call it a win. So, happy. Okay. So, I have exciting news because we've been touting.
Are you pregnant?
Yes, I'm pregnant.
My gosh! Oh my gosh! We've been so excited. We've been waiting for this.
Actually, it's bigger news.
Okay, what's up?
Friday. This Friday.
Friday morning,
The 18th.
18th.
Will be the grand opening of the South Main McDonald's. The one at 1804 South Main. They're going to be open beginning at 10 a.m. this Friday.
Yep.
They're going to be open with a full lunch menu. They're going to start off with a full lunch menu Friday.
At 10.
At 10 a.m. And then beginning Saturday, they'll start the full regular menu and regular hours and all that good stuff.
That's a big one.
But the opening de grande will be this Friday.
Their opening salvo, if you will.
10 a.m. The South Main McDonald's will open to the world. And I believe they're going to have a full, ribbon cutting and the whole kit and caboodle. 10 a.m. on Friday.
Gonna be big.
I'm going to try to get Nick or one of his management team in either tomorrow or Friday.
Dude.
To tell us all about it.
This is our chance. We've got the ear. Okay, so they're the grand opening. We've got corporate basically in town.
Yes.
Focused. We know they're probably listening right now. Breakfast, fish, sandwich.
I'm in.
We need to make it happen.
At 10 a.m.
Nick.
Friday.
I'm not saying, I know that you guys are hitting the ground running with the lunch menu. We need a breakfast, fish, sandwich. We've got to finally answer this question.
Yes.
It's been years in the making. We need to know. Is it possible?
The chicken and the fish can coexist between two buns.
Feathers and fins.
Yes.
As one.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so are you caught up with any of the new South Park?
No.
They had the last episode was, and I mentioned this to you, it was just a tour de force of genius writing.
Yeah.
They had a version of Ebony and Ivory that was completely free of illegality called Black Puppy, White Puppy.
Nice.
And it's so good. It is one of the best songs I've heard in quite a while.
Well, in my sickness days, I've caught up and gotten a lot of stuff done.
Yeah?
Visually watched.
Nice.
I'm full up all of my Letterkennys. This one I'm a little perturbed about.
This season?
No. Just the one of the ones I'm caught up on. As much as I can be, but I'm not really officially. Animal Kingdom. They done me dirty.
How'd that?
So there's 5 full seasons of Animal Kingdom available to watch. It's a TNT. It originally aired on TNT. So I like how you straighten it up when you see
I know,
him
right when I
adjusting
see
the
him
camera.
adjusting the camera, that's when I decided.
It doesn't matter.
I haven't
but
looked at the screen. So.
I want to know where the red box went. They did some mojo in there.
Yeah, some weird stuff happened.
Okay.
It just stopped working.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I took her thunder. Sorry. Andrea will remind us again. Andrea will remind us again. My brain's in a fog. Andrea will remind us again about the grand opening and when she comes in the 9 o'clock hour. But what was I talking about? Oh, Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a little. My brain's a little not fully happening. I'm a little foggy.
So they did you dirty.
So they did me dirty on Animal Kingdom. The first 4 seasons are on Prime for watching of at your leisure.
For your viewing pleasure.
So I've watched all of those. And I'm like, oh, there's season 5. When does it come out? I don't know. No one's telling me. It aired last fall or summer on TNT. I have DirecTV. I'm like, oh, well, they have an on-demand section.
Sure.
Sure enough, they've got season 5 there on. So I started watching it and then realized they only have 5 episodes of season 5 on there.
Are they only 5 episodes deep?
No.
Really?
There's more than 5.
Really?
There's at least, I think, 5 to 8 more episodes out there for the rest of season 5.
Then what's the holdup?
I either can pony up and buy them on Amazon.
They're forcing y'all. They're forcing a.
Well, I just figured the DirecTV on demand would fit since they've aired all the season.
Right.
They'd put the 5th season, but they only put the first 5 episodes, and now they're gonna make me pay or wait till whenever they decide to release those final episodes for season 5. And I'm guessing there's a season 6. I have no idea.
Every good dealer gives you a taste first.
I know, but 5.5 seasons of taste and then a half a season of go pay for it.
Yeah,
that ain't right.
That's what. That's the best. That's how you really get a lifelong customer. Like, well, we did you good first.
I ain't paying it.
Okay, fair enough.
I pay too much money.
This is
by the way, I had to go buy Hulu because Hulu outed me. They won't let me use my brother's thing anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know, but they won't take it.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like they know.
You know what it is? They're like,
They won't even tell me that's wrong. They just say, you could get your own, basically.
they're like, we know what you're doing.
Yeah, they kind of did.
We're on to what you're up to.
So I went ahead and pony up $6 a month for their
All right,
for
fair
their
enough.
thing.
You still didn't get ad free, huh?
No, I wasn't paying 12.
Okay, fair enough.
I draw the line somewhere.
Pretty nice, man. It's pretty nice having no ads.
I know, but I feel like I've already paid to watch these 12 other forms already. So is that the chocolate?
It is. I was just randomly breaking it out because, yeah, I have to eat a square of this eventually.
Yeah. Is it still edible?
I think so. I mean, it's been wrapped up. It's
sealed.
It's sealed.
When do you want to
technically.
do this, and how do you want to do this?
I don't know. So backing up, and this is we'll get into this later. The Bengals lost.
Yes.
And as a result, and Mike completely forgot about it up until
Till Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But as a result, I have to eat a square of this Hellfire chocolate, which is supposedly 9 million Scoville units. It's not looking as healthy as it used to be. I mean,
Yeah.
it's looking. I don't know if the board is warm, if it's been like just heating over here, but it's a little rough.
If you don't think it's safe to eat, we won't eat
I'm
it.
gonna eat. I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do like I was gonna do like 3 squares. I think I'm just gonna do the one.
Yeah. I wouldn't do more than one.
Yeah.
Figure like a dewdrop of chocolate can't kill you. Just make you uncomfortable for
But
a
it's
little bit.
9 million Scoville units
In one
So-
little square.
In one square.
Okay.
Well, the whole thing is 9 million, but it's
So what is it broken into
Concentrate.
9 pieces? Is it
yes.
9? So it's like 1 million Scovilles per square.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like when you take if you break a 200 milligram ibuprofen in half, you're just taking a half of a 200 milligram ibuprofen. It's still 200 milligram. So like, I think that's how heat works.
Okay.
The whole thing is 9 million Scoville units. So even the square of it is still 9 million units. It's just a smaller portion of the 9 million Scoville.
Okay.
I think.
I didn't. Do
I don't
well
know.
in math
I
and
didn't go.
science.
I didn't go to the National Heat Council, so like this year, so I didn't get the
I
updated.
cannot dispute or confirm what you say because I don't have the knowledge.
Fair enough.
I'm a jack of all trades. None of it involves math or science.
Fair enough.
I didn't do well in those classes. I'm a spinster of tales, not a master of science. That's what I do.
Weaver of words, if you will.
Yes. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. John from Oasis Computers going to join us here. Excuse me, in just a few minutes. And we'll get an update from him on what's happening over at Oasis. Talk some tech with John. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay an interview. Ted Vigil, the man who looks and sounds and will be doing his John Denver tribute show here on the 19th of February. Coming up this weekend. We're going to play that interview for you with Ted, which, by the way, he goes by Ted Vigil. That was one of the things I learned at the when he comes down in this area, his name changes to Vigil, but most of the time he goes by Ted Vigil. But anyway, we're going to play that interview for you. And then Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce will join us in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15 or so, and give us an update, including the grand opening of the South Main McDonald's this Friday, 10 a.m. It's finally happening for folks. So we'll talk all about that and other things happening with the Chamber with Andrew here about 9:15. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Now it's going to be getting windy, and we got the warmth. Tomorrow, not so much with the warmth, but the wind will be hanging around.
Afternoon high, wind gusting to 45 miles per hour, and we should have sunshine. Windy overnight, down to 35 and partly cloudy, and then maybe an early shower on Thursday. Sunny in the afternoon, still breezy and cooler, high around 50. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 20%. Winds are out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. Let's see. They got a lot of advisories and warnings and what have you here. We got a wind advisory for today That's going to remain in effect from 11 a.m. until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We also have a red flag warning today that will kick in at 10 a.m. and remain in effect through 7 p.m. Why, you ask? Because of what I'm about to tell you. Expect some patchy blowing dust this afternoon. Sunny, warm, 72 for a high. So another warm one today. We're not going to get 80s like yesterday, but 72, still pretty warm. The winds are going to be a problem. Southwest winds 5 to 15 early now. Later today, we'll be picking up 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour later this afternoon. Tonight, we're looking at a partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of 32. Winds will remain breezy out of the southwest, 15 to 25. Tomorrow will be significantly cooler. They're even talking moisture chances. This is snow, but I don't know. It's a little hard for me to buy that. Thursday, they're saying a 20% chance of snow before noon. Mostly sunny with a high of 49. North winds 15 to 20. Decrease in 10 to 15 Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, we're looking at clear skies with an overnight low of 21. Northeast winds 5 to 10. Friday, we'll be back into the low 60s. Sunny 61. South winds 5 to 10. And then warming up nicely for the weekend. Sunny 66 on Saturday. Sunny 72 on Sunday. So a little bit of dip in the temperature tomorrow with some of this wind that's coming through today and tonight. But it looks like we'll start warming back up for the back half of the week there. All right, it is 7:20. We're going to take a 3-minute break. And then on the other side of the break, John from Oasis Computers will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
It's a new year, time for new beginnings, and time to get a new vehicle for your family. Richland Chevy Buick GMC and Richland Dodge Chrysler Jeep both have amazing New Year's deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles. Check out both Richland's lots, where you'll find a huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Or better yet, customize your new vehicle. Order it today and build the vehicle of your dreams. And with the Richland Brand Champion program, you can ride with confidence knowing you're taken care of long after the sale. Ride for the brand that rides for you. Richland, where service is always job
one. The
University
of New Mexico is committed to ensuring that residents of our state entering college for the first time can afford to pursue a bachelor's degree with the Lobo First Year Promise. Qualified first-time freshmen who have graduated from a New Mexico high school and have an annual family income of $50,000 or less will have base tuition and fees for full-time enrollment covered for the 22 to 23 academic year. Application deadline is March 1st. The Lobo First Year Promise at the University of New Mexico. Find out more at promise.unm.edu.
Members of Central Valley Electric Cooperative are invited to attend the 2022 annual meeting to be held Saturday, March 19th at the Estelle Yates High School Auditorium in Artesia, New Mexico. Come meet your fellow co-op members, hear about the status of your electric co-op and what is planned for the future. There will be door prizes and a nice gift. Plus, the first 200 members to register will each receive a $50 gift card. Limit 1 card per membership. Registration begins at 9 a.m. The annual meeting begins at 10 a.m. Mark your calendar and please attend the Central Valley Electric Co-op annual meeting March 19th in Artesia, New Mexico. We look forward to seeing you there.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 7% of American adults, roughly 16.4 million Americans, believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. We don't know if they asked them where strawberry milk comes from. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good,
great.
good. Did you watch or care about the Super Bowl at all, or any of that stuff?
I did watch it because September wanted to watch it.
Okay.
And I still don't get it. I have to mention I'm not from here, so.
I'm about to say, you didn't grow up like most of us watching football.
I saw the first game in Germany when I was visiting family that lived at a military base.
Okay.
And I go, what are you guys doing? You're just doing something and stopping again.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have like an affiliation for European football or soccer or any other
not
of the
too
sports
much.
that are bigger in Europe?
My beliefs are if you do sports, you need to play them.
Gotcha.
But, I can't waste the time on it. I don't see it.
You're too busy.
Not a sports guy.
You got your head buried in a computer.
And if I do anything, I do it myself. Used to play water polo, so.
Well, this probably bodes well for people that are looking for computer work, not athletic school skills.
Give me a couple of hours to get to work on the computer.
That's right.
I seem to enjoy that more.
He's not going to win you the football game, but he'll fix your computer. Here,
Yep.
But speaking of that, I mean, I imagine you're getting a lot of folks, especially with COVID. People are trying to, make things last longer, and that's not always the case in computer world.
Well, that depends on who you talk about. If you talk about the users, yes, they definitely would like their stuff to work longer. But with the Microsoft coming out with Windows 11, I don't know what their thinking is. But they made machines that are about, 5-6 years now, all sort of obsolete in 4 years. With the 11, it's not supposed to run 11 anymore. And I have no idea what they're doing. I can't find the right answers on it. I have installed it on 12 machines now that can't run it, and it installs just fine without telling you anything.
Really? That's weird.
And if you look up the specs, it can't do it. Now, when you get done and you run the test, so it runs Windows 11, right? And then you run that test you can do on it, the health check, what they call it. Mm-hmm. It says, this machine cannot run Windows 11. Well, no, it doesn't. That's not what it says. It says it cannot run. It's not, what do you call that? Doesn't have the right process or whatever in it to run it.
It's not powerful enough. Don't have enough.
It's not to do with power. I don't know what it's got to do with.
Okay.
And on some machines, it will not install. When you do the same thing, it will tell you this one it can't run on it.
Okay.
So I've got it running on a 12-year-old machine. It's not supposed to do it at all, but it seems to do fine.
Maybe what the deal is, since they tell people it won't be, because they get unpredictable results here. So rather than just say, well, it might work or might not work, we're just going to tell you it won't work.
I don't know.
And if you tried anyway, then
there must be some reasoning behind it, whatever, but it keeps coming to mind that those folks that in Microsoft, in Redmond, in Washington, they're very smart idiots, is what comes to mind in my brain. I'm not sure how to else say it.
Well, with this kind of time, because in essence, because they're going to stop supporting anything for 10, and how many years now?
Well, the idea is that Windows 10 is good for another roughly 4 years, little less than that.
So they're basically telling everybody 4 years you better get a new computer.
Right.
Here.
The problem is that, when I got in this business, when I started the store, if you had a 5-year-old computer, you look at it and go like, my God, you're still using that old piece of whatever, And there was definitely, the machine was not capable of really keeping up with what the new stuff did.
Mm-hmm.
We have now, you remember the deal with the laptops we brought in.
Mm-hmm.
That is what now, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? That thing was 12-year-old then, is now probably 15 years old. It still runs Windows 10. It was still fine, especially with the solid-state drive in it. It's not the latest technology, but it's very usable, especially if you don't need no more. It's usable to the point that some of those older machines work better than some of the new stuff people buy.
Okay.
Now, there is some differences. The new stuff has some benefits on certain things, but from the point of I need to get my email and I need, what people do normally these days,
your day-to-day
it would work fine. Now, with, I don't know what people think about global warming, the environment, the patch in the ocean that's an island full of plastic, whatever. I think we need to reuse and do better with our stuff. And if a computer is still good and does a good enough job, let it be.
Sure.
They're claiming security issues and it's not safe anymore. I think the biggest problem with not being safe is Microsoft itself. It doesn't fix its problems, really. They keep hanging on it and they keep moving it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't want to seem to fix it. And from security point of view, that's where I see more problems. Of course, the people, too, the complaints, the passwords, it's so hard, it's difficult. Yes, it gets harder if you want to make it more safe.
Sure.
And
if you think about it, the idea is making a stranger harder for them to access your material. Sometimes to get that to happen, you're going to have to do more on your end to do that. And
I always compare it with locks on the door. These movies from New York City, whatever, come to mind. The bad areas there.
They got 6 locks on the door.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I'm referring to. 1 lock's good, but 6 is better. Now, if you need to get in, you need to have 6 keys and 6 locks to open
Just
up.
hope you don't have a bathroom emergency on your way home.
Right.
You're trying to unlock all those locks to get to the bathroom.
So more security makes it more difficult. And part of the problem I also see is as it gets complicated with all your passwords, different ones to remember, and then you have to change it, and then that one you had is no good no more. Things like that. That in itself makes it unsafer because you start doing things to remember or whatever, like putting the sticky note on your computer. I steal your computer, and I go like, 125 XYZ. Maybe that's the password. Yeah, that's the password. I'm in now.
Sure.
It's and then going with where you get the message to your phone.
Yeah.
That sounds great, but in my situation, I've several accounts. Some belong to September at Home. She's stuck there. She can do much, and I need to do a lot of stuff. She had her stroke, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I do something for her, like I use a new computer. I log into the bank to check the account out if everything is okay. And then it comes back at me, check your phone, what in her case happens to be her phone.
Right.
She's at home. So now I can't do that. I've got the call and said, did you get a code on your phone and put it in? It looks like it's really good. Your phone's always with you, but that turns out to be not that easy either.
Sure. Absolutely.
And then, of course, the people that forget the passwords, change the phone number. I've had at least 4 people that have come in with an Apple device, and it's like, okay, what is your password for your Apple account? I don't know. I didn't have one. Whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
And we find out they did have one, and then it says you can't get in because your password is wrong.
I imagine those people that constantly get new Gmail or Yahoo or Google accounts, whatever, probably email accounts probably have that same problem. It's like, I
don't think that too many
email.
people change accounts. What people do is buy a new phone and change the phone number.
I got you.
And
they can't remember.
That used to be no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
You just got a new phone number. You let your people know, I've got a new phone number. Or you got a new phone number because you didn't want people to call you anymore. Whatever the reasoning is.
Attached to that number.
Now that phone number is attached to that Apple account.
Yeah.
So you log in, and literally 3 times I can remember for sure. People come in, and it's like, okay, now, yes, you're in luck. There's a number, a code gets sent to your phone. The phone is, XYZYY2, whatever. And I don't have that no more. I just got a new phone last week. And then you can't make them clear that the message goes to that number they used to have.
Right.
Well, what can I do? Can I get it to my new? Why don't you put the new phone number in it? Well, the whole thing about the security is that you had the phone number and it goes to it.
Right.
So now the message is, before you change a phone number, think really hard. Maybe you shouldn't, just in case, because it's tied to your Apple account, your Microsoft account, your Google account, and whatever. And it's either get the new phone number, update all that, and that don't seem to happen.
Right.
Forget whatever the reason is for it. And then you're lost your iPhone, so you buy another $1,000 phone.
Yeah. I know what I do with Apple. I mean, I have an Apple phone, and I'm still a little old school this way. Before I get a new phone or a tablet or anything else, I do this on occasion anyway. I literally, because I have Apple, I have iTunes and everything.
Yeah.
So I literally do the old school method. I plug my phone into my laptop, and I upload, back it up on there. So when I get the new phone or whatever, even if it's a new number, it downloads my settings and everything else. So I don't lose that stuff.
Well, that's where the problem comes in. When people want to do that, they have not set it up. They have not thought about
that's the
it.
problem.
And then it does not work.
Most people don't think of
the password, What happens a lot, I
I'm
think,
just a little more meticulous about it.
Yeah, well, once you realize what's going on, you can take action against it. But there's a couple of things that happen. I got this new thing. Do you know how it works? And let me help you with it.
Yeah.
See, you do this, and this. Do you get that? Yeah, I think so. You get the idea. You sort of saw what they did, but have no idea what really happened.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to keep your password, okay? Here's on a piece of paper. Keep that. Okay. And you don't know the implications of it 5 years from now.
Right.
And, after 5 years, you've learned how to operate it.
Sure.
And the one thing you didn't realize was that you do have a password, but you never type it in because it enters in automatically for you. And then the answer comes back, I never had a password.
So yes, you
well,
did.
Yeah, but otherwise it doesn't work. You got to have
Your
one.
computer just filled it in for you all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
So things like that. And then writing it down, it's amazing how many people come in with, a notepad like this or a little note scribbled on it. People literally come in with a stack of little pieces of paper, and sometimes I can figure out what they need. They can't see it. So
that's better than nothing. At least they attempted to have a history there. You know what I mean? I give an A for effort, even if it's not organized.
Right.
As well.
Some of that works, some of it doesn't.
Yeah.
People have. I ran into one yesterday. Had to set it up. They were pretty good at it. They knew their password eventually, whatever. Had to look for a little bit. But one of the problems was the password for your Apple account. So what we had to do was set up a new HP printer. And they couldn't get the printer going, and it's a new way of setting it up with all the mobile devices. It says do not hook it up with a cable. You have to set it up first through the wireless, whatever. So they couldn't get it going. I followed the steps. I got it installed. Then the idea was, can I print from my phone? Well, yeah, you got to put the app on the phone. So an Apple phone, now you're dealing with Apple account. And then the next step was put it on my husband's tablet, the Apple iPad. And the iPad comes from Albuquerque Journal. They have a thing going with that.
Okay.
I think you rent the subscription and you get the iPad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I've
Interesting
rented
little-
it a couple of times.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, people have that. So now they want to print out the crossword puzzle from there. So we got to set that up. And we needed to have that account for that login on that device. And they had the password, but not the login name.
Oh. Okay.
Now, that part is not too bad because you go to the iPad, you look in who uses the iPad.
Usually that part's not covered up, so you can see it. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just the username. Whose iPad is this?
Right.
Pete Hendrickson's.
Yeah.
And it's PeteH@msn.com or something like that.
Or they give the Apple ID.
So now you know the username. It's PeteH at whatever, apple.com, whatever they used. And in this case, then we applied the password that was for Apple. And the two passwords, they didn't work still.
Nah.
But at that point, you knew what account you have, so you can then reset the password.
Sure.
And the phone we were working on was the phone where the message goes to, so we had everything in place there.
So you lucked out. But that doesn't always end
well,
up-
that's how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But when it shows up at the store most of the time, it's especially on Apple stuff. It's like, no, can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I guess it's a mixed bag because I mean, I guess in theory the security worked, right?
That's the whole idea, and that's all I have to say. It's so you can't get in. And it's amazing how many people said, "Well, if this password don't work, can we make another one?" Sure.
You just gotta
Give me
remember
the
the old one.
original password, and then we can change it.
Yeah.
Oh, and people still don't get it. It's not registering somehow. I don't know what it is.
Well, hopefully
but
that's the lesson people could take from today. It's
Well-
like whenever you get new technology or new thing,
make meticulous notes
Yes.
that you can read, that you understand.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I can.
I kind of feel like the computers used to do this for us at the beginning. You remember you'd buy
yeah,
your
but
gateway.
that can be done because if it doesn't,
I know it
for
can't
you,
now, but I think. But what I
See,
mean
and
is, we used to do it, so we got spoiled. Now we can't do that, and so it's really.
I don't know how you do this over the radio, but for instance, there's 3 circles, right?
Yeah, 3 circles.
Okay, now what are they? Is that zeros, O's, capital, lower? What is it? Do you have any idea?
Sure, you don't.
No, because they're all the same. So what we do is now, what do we have? Can you tell me now what I have?
I got a capital O.
Wait, this one?
Yeah, now I can tell different.
No. See, the zero, the O,
Yeah.
whatever is interesting. We put a little line under a capital letter. So even though this one turned out bigger, in my writing for passwords, not in the regular writing, I don't care. But when it's password and I need to know it's correct, I put a little line under a capital letter.
I got you. So that tells you
in
that's
this
a
case,
capital O.
that's the lowercase, that's the uppercase,
So
and then
case
the
the-
line through it is the zero.
This is 0, yeah.
And then what is amazing is you have ABC and you have ABC.
Yeah.
So in this case, the top line is the capital. That's obvious, and some people don't know this either. They have never learned that there's capital writes different than lowercase letters.
Yeah.
But what is interesting now, if that mistake gets made, because I do it once in a while, I write a lowercase letter and meant to be capital. What happens now is this. So even though that's a lowercase a with a line under it, I meant it to be a capital A.
Gotcha. So you know that indicates
Those
to you.
kind of things are what we run into all the time.
Sure. Yeah, otherwise then you got to process elimination and do the codes and try it, the 4 or 5 different ways
Right.
you could, whether that O is a 0 or
I think if we
or-
do, people ask, do I do classes and whatever? I just don't have the time for it at the
Sure.
moment. But I think we need a class on login methods and storing your passwords so you know that you can find them again. What do I do with that?
Well, maybe we should do start something with that on here. Maybe I don't know if we could do something there where you could at least do a couple 101s on some of that
maybe
stuff. Maybe
we can work with that
and then
somehow.
we video recorded, and then you could share it with your customers too, and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, watch this. This is me on the radio explaining
That's
what to do with
that's an
passwords."
interesting thought. Maybe
Yeah.
we can work on that somewhat.
Yeah, maybe maybe it might have to be 2 parts or whatever, depending on how long. If we can't do it in a 30-minute session here, if we if we have to bring it over 2, we could do that.
Right.
Yeah, no
We're
problem.
gonna think about that.
Yeah.
See when it calms down a little bit again, what we can do.
But in the meantime, you can come and visit John, and he'll
Right.
he'll fight
I
the fight
explain
with you.
every day, and I explain it loudly. And of course, it happens all the time. It was last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
3 people coming in, and password problems like this were for all 3 of them. There was an issue that we had to work on. So I worked with the people, and literally I go, now, folks, do not forget your password. Do write them, and this same thing I'm just explaining.
Sure. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Is it a generational thing? Like, is it a certain generation of people that typically do this, or is
doesn't
it
seem to be.
old, young? Doesn't matter.
Now, what I see is, it's always been, I can't operate a computer. Ask the kid from next door.
Right.
I don't quite see that. I have some instance where I said, ask the old guy, the 80-year-old. He knows.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
he is into it. I'm getting a little older now.
Sure.
And it's the same thing. I definitely see that every day doing this, I need to think about it, and you need to stay active with it, I think.
Generally speaking, us older folks that know better, it's because we got burned before. That's why. We learn by experience.
Yeah, but we're talking about learning new and whatever,
yeah,
you know.
But even like things like remembering your password, I'm sure, I don't care what level of technology we are, that's going to be something you're going to have to know, whether it was the dawn of computers or whatever's going to be happening 20 years from now. I think that's just going to be standard operating procedure for computers and technology, is you got to know those passwords and keep them stored
somewhere. Well, I think
somewhere.
we need to, and I have the feeling we'll end up here. I don't know when, a year from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, I don't know. But what I see in the computers is, and many people, of course, don't want it because it has its problems too, but just like we have a social security number and we do a lot recognizing who it is. If we had some kind of a thing, a number, and I don't know what it would be exactly, that is you on the internet.
Gotcha.
Just like your social security number in the United States, if you have that, we know who you are.
Some kind of identifier.
There is some fraud with that, and maybe more than we want, but you know, we know that that's supposed to be you, and that's just one thing that we deal with.
Something that we can't forget.
Right. If we had something like that for the computer, that no matter where we went, what we did, of course, if you do something that is illegal, whether that's, you know, abortion things come to mind maybe in Texas where people want it and other people don't. Well, if you are the person that needs one, then you may get in illegal territory. So is that, I don't know how... I'm not talking about the abortion. I'm talking about, you know, the ramifications of that, whatever happens.
But that's really true in any time of like if you do a license.
Right, any identification has that.
Yeah.
So, but if we could identify for normal purposes, most 98% of everything, if we just go, you know, type in a name, a number, a thing, you know, Oasis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the Oasis store, that everything that Oasis does belongs with that. You know, winners M126, that's you. That would be always you. And if you, that's, you know, if you can verify that with the appropriate password with it, now you have one. That's
your gateway into everything.
And yes, if there would be something like that, you know, I don't know how it would implement what it would do.
Yeah.
That's what we need, because it just gets too complicated.
Yeah. And then maybe it needs to go to something like a thumbprint or something like that.
Yeah, and that looks... So many things have looked great, you know. But on a thumbprint, if it gets serious, it's like... you know.
It's true.
The thumbprint is also not changeable. If it does go wrong, your thumbprint makes you a criminal.
Yeah.
Then a good time changing that. You could argue a number would do the same thing, maybe, but there are issues with.
I'm just trying to think of things that are harder to hack. You know, you know what I mean.
Well, you know, a thumbprint can be pulled off this plastic water bottle and used to log in with stuff without cutting the finger off. Just get that. The eye recognition type of face recognition, people have managed to hang a photo in front of a camera and make it work.
And got that to happen.
So everything that looks like it's a great and wonderful thing turns out to be having issues with it.
We're going to have to do DNA tests every time we spit into a thing or something.
Well, we also, maybe, who knows?
Chris, there's ways around that,
I mean,
too,
fingerprints can go wrong.
Sure.
You know,
nothing's foolproof. I mean, there's going to be that's the computer world. Just when you think you've got the be all end all, there's already a million people working ways around it. That's the industry that is technology. That's why the joke's always running around about. I think the people that create viruses are the ones that make the virus protection, because it really goes hand in hand with the
I think there's a certain amount of people that either get a kick out of it, it's easier, whatever the reason is, by not doing the right thing.
Sure.
You know, instead of building a program that protects you, they break into computers. They could just as well find out with their mind of how to break into it, build something to stop that particular thought that they had, and say, we need to fix this to do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to get rewarded, so people start stealing, breaking in. It's easier. And then on the internet, you're anonymous. Or it's not like me stealing your wallet. You see me do it, and you go, "Hey, wait, that guy there."
Sure.
But if I break into your bank through the computer, I don't know that it was me or whatever,
Well, I mean, you kind of look at what's going on with Russia right now and Ukraine and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep telling us every day they're going to invade any minute now, but what's been going on for the last while now is Russia's been attacking cyberly. And looking at, if you look at, I don't know if you've seen some of these stories and everything, but that's kind of where the war's been at right now. It's not soldiers. I mean, they show us video of soldiers and helicopters and all that. But what's really going on is they're infiltrating internet and doing a lot of that.
Confusion of injecting fake stuff into your systems.
That's the kind of work that's going on right now.
Right.
And that's where, I mean, I know even we're talking security and stuff, but really that's in the same vein here. And not that I don't expect anyone to start going into our stuff, but I think that's the next.
I think there are people in there already.
That's the next.
Right.
Like I don't think we're going to be dealing with tanks and missiles. We're going to be dealing with
we're running out of time. There's one last thing. North Korea sent off some of those rockets.
Yeah.
Some guy, I don't have quite all the details on it, but some guy in the United States here, pretty smart guy, said, "I'm pissed off at that. I'll put him down." He knocked out the internet in North Korea for like 4 hours.
Nice.
And he said, "That's long enough. I'll let it go again."
Wow.
And that was only because their internet security, whatever.
Was it the strongest?
Very poor.
Yeah.
As it was said. I thought that was interesting.
I think that's the wave of the future. When we talk warfare and countries, I think that's the new world we live in now. And so I think, I know that but kind of ended here on our conversation. Use this as that reminder. It's like, hey, get your basics down. Know your passwords. Whatever works for you, whether it's a notebook you keep in a desk or if you love electrical and you want to keep it on another device, whatever it is, keep your password stored.
Yes, and part of the problem is what it's important to you, the guy just in the street, whatever.
Yeah.
Your computer, if it's easy to break into, can be used as a stepping stone to break into government agencies.
Yeah.
How can they do that? But yes, that's what's being done.
If your computer has access to the internet, it's a gateway to whatever in the hands of someone that knows what they're doing.
Right. If your computer is infected with millions of other ones with the same thing, then the guy in charge that infected you can flip like a switch, and your computer starts attacking or going to a website that they determine. And if one goes, it doesn't matter. If 10 goes, it doesn't matter. If 100 go, it probably doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If 500 million machines go to that website, the website has no more access.
Yeah.
You can't get to the website no more because everybody is,
Sure.
It's called a denial of service attack.
It's something, that's more likely the kind of stuff you could see nowadays.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the best defense against that is just staying up on your passwords and knowing what that is.
Right, and anything important, back it up.
Back it up.
Make sure you have a backup, not tomorrow, today.
And then anything that's like social media related or banking related, keep those passwords changed and updated regularly so you're constantly, you don't want to keep the same password for any length of time.
Well, there's another problem with that. Some people want to change the password every 3 months. There's no reason to change the password if it's not compromised.
Gotcha.
The minute it gets compromised, do change it and take action. You can use the same password for 100 years if nobody got.
Now, if your password's 1234 or ABCD, then maybe consider changing your password.
Well, make it
something a little bit harder to break into. I know I've seen enough of that. What's your password? 1234. I'm like,
Well, there's a whole slew of passwords that people use. Monkey123 was a big one.
Sure.
Password still used tremendously.
Is it?
But I use it with a capital P, so try to figure that. Well,
that's Fort Knox right there.
There's a whole list that people that break into it use to, known passwords that everybody uses, and they try those first.
Right.
And then you're in.
So just use this as a reminder to stay on top of that kind of stuff. If your computer goes kaput or it's clogged up with spyware and spamware and everything else, Or maybe it's time. Maybe you've got a old spin-up hard drive and you're ready to upgrade to a solid-state
we still do
device.
It's still a thing every day.
Turn your old computer into a new computer for like $200.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically what it is. Please visit John or schedule an appointment to get with John and let him take a look. You can obviously come visit. He does morning hours, Monday through Friday.
We're now, because of different reasons that we've talked about already, but we're open from 8 till 1, Monday through Friday. And I asked the last person not to come in later than 12:30 so I can take it in. I do need to leave at 1. 12:30 gives us half an hour if need to be to take it in, have a look at it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then a reminder, if you're in earlier, this year it started off that way. Everybody comes in between 10 and 12.
That's the sweet spot for everyone coming in.
4 people standing there, whereas I had nobody in between 8 and 10.
So if you roll in like 8:30, you're probably going to get in quicker than you would at, say, 10:30.
Most days I am there at 7. The one day I'm not there seems to be the third Wednesday of the week that I don't.
He's committed at that time.
Yeah, that's when I'm here.
But please reach out. Of course, he's right behind the Wool Bowl there on Garden.
Right.
And what's the phone number to the office?
575-625-9141. And use the phone, texting, everything else. Eventually we get to it. The phone gets mostly answered right away.
Very good. And, of course, if you need help with any of this stuff, reach out. John, so if it's something simple, he can do it right there.
Yep.
If it's something that takes a little bit more time, he'll take it and work on it in the afternoon and get back to you when it's ready.
Don't have time to take it in the back and then wait for a while and charge extra for it. No, if I can get it out within 15 minutes to half an hour up front, we'll try to get it out.
Absolutely. So, well, good deal. Did we get it all for this time?
I think so. I think we've done good.
Well, appreciate the visit as always,
right.
And we look forward to next month and see what fun and frivolities have happened between now and then.
Very good.
All right.
Maybe something exciting.
Something, hopefully. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate you. We'll see you
Thank
next time. It is 7:54. Let's do a quick break. Chaves County Sports and Town Hall Business. Don't go away.
Welcome to DSI, New Mexico's business technology leader. We help you digitally transform your business to do more, faster, and more secure. Selecting DSI gives you access to the world's best technologies, award-winning local technicians, and our commitment to the New Mexico communities we serve. One local source for all your technology products, services, and the personalized support you can only get from DSI.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. The Goddard Rockets had a chance to wrap up the District 4 Boys Basketball Championship in Class 4A by beating Lovington last night. Alas, it did not happen. Lovington won that game 54-51, so Goddard can still wrap up the district by beating Artesia on Friday night. They host the Artesia boys at 7 o'clock. But with a loss, that opens the door for both Lovington and Portales for a tie at the top of the district. Meanwhile, in girls' play last night, it was Goddard knocking off Lovington, no problem there, 64-18. Goddard moves to 13-11 on the season, 3-2 in district, but that district was wrapped up yesterday when Portales, which is undefeated in district play, knocked off Artesia in Artesia. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Federal safety regulators say they will retain power to approve Boeing 787 airliners for flight, rather than return that authority to the aircraft maker, which hasn't been able to deliver any new Dreamliner planes since last May because of production flaws. The FAA said that once deliveries of the 787s resume, it will perform final inspections and retain power to clear each new plane. U.S. highway safety regulators are about to allow new high-tech headlights that can automatically tailor beams so they can focus on dark areas of the roadway and don't create glare for oncoming drivers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it issued a final rule allowing what's called adaptive driving beam headlights on new vehicles. On Wall Street, the Dow up 422 points, the Nasdaq up 348, and the S&P 500 rose 69 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
If your car breaks down, no need to cry, because there's always a pal nearby at Big O. at Big O Tires. Locally owned will get you in gear. That's because you've known us for years at Big O. Big O Tires. Don't need to sweat any extra labor. You can always trust a good neighbor at Big O. At Big O Tires. The best service is part of our code. Need a cup of sugar? We're down the road at Big O. At Big O Tires.
You can trust the team at Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Come in today and get a $70 reward card on select Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Not valid with other offers. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price, not to exceed $35 where permitted. Void where prohibited. Additional retailer offer advertised within is independent from the manufacturer's offer. See store for details. Some stores in Missouri, Minnesota, and Kansas are company owned.
Does it ever feel like your doctor isn't listening? Like all they have to offer are pills? You deserve a healthcare provider that listens to you, one that listens to your concerns and works hard to find solutions. Roswell Medical Clinic focuses on functional medicine, working with you to find the root cause of the problem and a solution that works for you, so you can feel better and live happier. Because you deserve it. Trust the providers that listen. Roswell Medical Clinic, 111 West Hobbs in Roswell, or call 623-3311.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. During your lifetime, you'll produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Spit out this bit of information at your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. We're going to play our Ted Vigil interview next hour. Town Hall News up next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. Don't go away. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Raging inflation did not stop Americans from buying more stuff in January.
Retail sales rose a seasonally adjusted 3.8% last month compared to the prior month, when the number dropped to a revised 2.5%. Sales at general merchandise stores rose 3.6%, while department stores saw business up 9.2%. Online sales surged 14.5%.
Correspondent Jeremy House. NATO defense ministers have been meeting in Brussels discussing the Ukraine situation. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma says NATO Secretary General Jan Stoltenberg is not buying Russian claims of a troop pullback from the Ukraine frontier.
Stoltenberg told reporters, if Russia really starts to withdraw forces, that's something we will welcome, but that remains to be seen. Countries in the alliance have also expressed doubt about the Russian claim, as have leaders in Ukraine. Caught between Russia and the West, Ukrainian leaders have repeatedly sought to project calm, but also strength during the crisis.
Russia has massed around 150,000 troops along the border with Ukraine, and if there is an invasion, President Biden says, you better hold on to your wallet.
The president has put the American people on notice, saying there could be further economic pain here at home if there's a war in Europe.
I will not pretend this will be painless. There could be impact on our energy prices.
He said the administration was trying to preempt supply issues by working with energy producers and shippers.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Voters in San Francisco have recalled 3 city school board members for what critics consider misplaced priorities, including the renaming of schools and putting progressive politics ahead of the needs of children. Stocks in the red on Wall Street. The Dow is down 181 points. The Nasdaq off 180 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters.
Or someone your realtor or friend recommends.
And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired
to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage.
And then you feel like you missed out.
Because you probably did miss out.
And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Ryan Brack, NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
A South African court has dismissed former President Jacob Zuma's attempt to remove the prosecutor from his upcoming corruption trial. Zuma's lawyers sought to appeal an earlier ruling that rejected his effort to have the prosecutor taken off his case. That application was dismissed on the grounds that Zuma's attempt to remove the prosecutor lacks reasonable prospects of success. Zuma was South Africa's president from 2009 to 2018 before he was ousted by his African National Congress Party amid widespread allegations of corruption. According to accounts from the state-run media, North Korea has marked the 80th birthday of the late leader Kim Jong-il with a concert, fireworks, and a rare outdoor ceremony near the border with China. The ceremony comes as the country pushes for greater internal unity amid pandemic-related hardships, piled on top of all of the other hardships that North Koreans face. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Wednesday morning Olympic schedule delivering 2 more medals to the U.S.
The United States goes 1-2 in the men's free ski slopestyle. Alex Hall takes home the gold, scoring a 90.01 on his first run, doing so by landing a rare right dub 10 Pretz 1 on the final trick. Indiana's Nick Gepper earns the silver to secure his 3rd career medal, spanning 3 different Olympics. Men's hockey quarterfinals, Slovakia stuns the Americans, eliminating Team USA 3-2 in a shootout. The Slovaks scored the equalizer in the final minute of the 3rd. I'm Denny Camp.
2 Harris County, Texas sheriff deputies shot and wounded after exchanging gunfire with a suspect who was struck and killed. It happened about 30 miles west of Houston. Both officers are in the hospital with what appears to be non-life-threatening wounds. Once again on Wall Street, the Dow is down 212 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ, the travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio, I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy middle of the week to you.
Doggone, man. Just all the sickness going around.
Yeah, I apologize.
I'm not asking for you to apologize.
I know.
I just feel bad,
man. I feel like an idiot because I hate just not being normal.
I know, but and that's the thing is, and everything's fine. We're fine. But
my wife's still sick. I thought she was getting better, but she just called me and said she's going home. She's not feeling good. So
I've always looked at sickness like I can't think of the movie reference, but specifically like if you're cursed with something, you have to give it to someone else before you can like lose it yourself. That's always how I've looked at sickness. It's like eventually I'm not gonna have it because I'm gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah,
and it just goes. It leaves me and goes to you.
Well, My wife and I are notorious for sharing everything. That's kind of the good, the bad, the ugly here.
Right. You gonna finish that cold?
Yeah, I'll take it.
You gonna finish that COVID? It's not COVID.
Not COVID.
It's not a tumor.
Although my wife is getting another test as we speak.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. If she finds something new, then I'm going to get real nervous real quick.
Nice.
But I'm assuming everything will be good to go.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah.
It's a brave new world we live in.
I mean, we did before and we're negative. So.
Hopefully, if she gets it this time, she gets a punch card. I mean, I figure if you get it 3 times, you should get a free sandwich, right? I mean, that feels right.
Well, she's only had it once.
Has she? I thought she had it twice.
No. She got sick, but not COVID. COVID's once.
Okay. Yeah. Have you had it twice?
Once.
You've only had it once too.
Yeah.
Okay. See, for some reason, I've thought that you guys had both had it twice now. Like you guys had it once before, and that you have now had it again.
No. This
was just the
if
once.
We have it. This would be number 2.
Okay.
But that's not the case.
Right.
We tested negative earlier, like a couple days ago. So.
Yeah, and you guys are still fresh enough off of it that you should still have the antibodies.
I'm not putting it out in the world that she's going to test positive. I refuse to. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's getting another test as we speak. So. I'm going to say it's negative, and then she's going to get better, and then I'm going to get better, and then we're going to move on with our lives.
That's the problem with this whole unknown factor is like, how long are the antibodies supposed to hang out? How long are you now immune?
Well, I've had 3 boosts, 3 shots also.
Right, 3 shots.
I've done everything.
You're waxed, vaxxed, and ready for hot boy summer.
I've done everything they tell me, and that's just it. You can do all this, but at the end of the day, if you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick. And I would say that because of my vaccinations, this is a cold and not something more serious. But it is what it is, and you got to deal with it. And you can't not live life. Everyone wants to, and I'm really caught in a position because normally if I have a cold, I'm working. Unless I'm about to die, we don't have a lot of backups around here. So, short of my arm, as long as all my extremities are here, I'm going to try to do the show.
Of course, yeah.
But we live in a world where I sniffle or cough, and now everyone, treats me like I'm, some kind of patient one. And I don't want that either.
You break out the Hank Hill. Oh.
And I get it. If I saw me coming up and everyone's like, "Ooh, I'm staying away from that clown." Yeah, I get it. I do the same thing, but doesn't mean we can't. Still got to do your thing.
Yeah.
So,
No, I totally get it.
Yeah. So I appreciate what you're doing, and Gene, everybody.
Yeah, of course.
And that's filling the gap in the line here.
It's. I mean, that's what I'm here for, man. It's really no problem. We just want to make sure that you guys are getting better. So don't apologize. Don't just take care of it. It's all
trying.
You're good. You're good.
Trying.
We got this. We were holding down the fort pretty solidly. Oh, we actually had a whole bit yesterday. I didn't have Tanner pull it or isolate the clip, but we had a sitcom ending moment yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Tanner was sitting here and I was over there. And
was there a laugh track?
No, we didn't work in a laugh track. What we did was, you remember how on Full House and Family Matters, every single one of those shows would shoehorn in a lesson at the end or an important like Danny uncle or dad would get down on one knee and put his arm around his daughter and hey there, and so we had
usually in the weigh-ins back in the 90s, whenever these spoof moments would come. They'd stop and go, message. That was kind of the.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yes,
that's right.
You had a message.
I don't know if you've closed any of the windows there on your computer, but one of those is a sad music track. And I played that music track and basically talked to Tanner and said, hey, champ, I know that it's hard because Dad's not here, but he's right here. As long as you hold him in your heart, he's always going to be here for you.
Yeah.
He's like, is he going to be back tomorrow? I'm like, tomorrow, maybe the next day. He'll be back soon. In the meantime, we just have to hold him here.
There you go.
Yeah. It's okay, Dad. Hey, champ. Love you, buddy.
He's doing okay, right? He's off today.
Yeah, no, he's I think
he's healthy, right?
I just imagine that every time Tanner's not here, he's just literally sipping rum drinks out of one of them fancy glasses with the umbrellas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just how he lives his life.
Well, now I think of Office Space. I said no salt. No salt.
No salt. No salt.
No salt. And there's salt all over
it. Salt all in the rain. I said no salt. No salt.
Well, good.
Okay,
well, thank you guys. I do appreciate it.
Set the building on fire.
I should watch that again. I haven't watched that in a while.
Yeah, it has been quite some time.
Although I will admit, since yesterday I was on the Hulu looking, And they have like a 90s movie section.
Really?
On Hulu. And I almost went down the lane. I didn't. But there was a few movies there. I'm like staple movies from the 90s that I saw 1,000 times that were on that list. White Men Can't Jump was one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it like once.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie 1.2 million times.
Fair
when
enough.
it was on HBO.
You and I are not the same, sir. I'm determined.
It'd show up on TV
Like
and I end up watching.
When you said movies I've seen, okay, Empire Records comes to mind.
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah,
Not as many times as White Men Can't Jump.
That's one of those that I've seen like 1,000 times.
Oh, see, now I used to be able to quote White Men Can't Jump lines, the whole, any movie that pits people, just where it's culture versus culture. I love those movies.
Bear in mind, in 1995, I was 11.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, in all fairness, I graduated from high school in 91. So,
Right.
So I was an adult at this point.
All right. All right, rub it in.
I'm trying to think about other movies that were there that I remember watching, or I was like, it was a whole bevy of them. I don't remember any of them now because my brain's kind of fried. But
Jungle to Jungle was a big one when I was a kid.
Yeah, you were watching the kids' movies.
Yeah,
in the 90s.
I'm saying.
I watched.
I watched a few like adult movies. What was that one?
I was a man in my 20s.
Boondock Saints. I loved the movie Boondock Saints when I was a kid.
Oh, that was one of those 90 angst.
That was angsty as all get out. But I
there's
love
certain
that movie.
movies. Empire Records is one of them.
Empire Records is hardcore, like grungy.
Singles is another one of those.
Singles and Rounders. I always group those two in like the same group.
Let me think of some other movies. Train Spotting, I would throw in that group.
Train Spotting is a little dark for
it's
those
dark,
movies.
But it's that teenage angsty still. It's just British kids. But it's still the same. It's dealing with drug addiction, but it's still the same.
I'm trying to remember, was the kid from Empire Records the same kid that was the kid in Men in Tights? I can't remember if it was. I think it was, though. Blonde kid. And then I was having this conversation the other day.
By the way, Men in Tights was one of those movies that was on the list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation. Whatever happened to Devon Sawa?
Who's he at again?
He was, okay, so when we were kids, when I was a kid, he was everywhere. He was the little blonde kid in the movie Casper. He was, I'm trying to think of some of the movies. He was just in like a ton of different movies.
Okay.
All over the place in the 90s. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah, maybe he's like a producer or something.
I guess.
Sometimes those guys, a lot of times, they're all behind the scenes now. It's kind of like that show, How I Met Your Mother. Like the main guy that's on that show, he's got more credits like off screen than he does on screen.
He was this guy.
I vaguely remember him.
Yeah.
The problem is he looks like every other kid from the 90s.
He does, but he doesn't. He had this certain look about him. Like that was the problem. He was like a Final Destination. He's the kid from the guy from Final Destination.
Okay.
Everybody, like all the girls wanted him.
Yeah.
So it was like he was like Orlando Bloom was eventually, or like Momoa is now, I guess.
I got you.
That was like their thing.
Although Orlando Bloom, that kind of burned hot, but now it faded quick.
It burned white hot.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you like a certain type of girl, it burned white hot.
Yeah.
You're like, I was into nerdy girls.
But really, other than like the Pirates movies, what is he really known for?
Elizabethtown was a big one.
Was it big?
Well, in my house, it was.
Was it?
It was huge in my house. God, I've seen that movie too many times.
Yeah.
I guess there's other stuff. It was real artsy stuff.
I know he did a lot of like chick flicky stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about that. But,
Yeah.
it wasn't for, the Pirates movies. I don't think we would care about Orlando Bloom.
You're absolutely right.
It's kind of like Ray Fiennes.
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes, everyone knows about him because of Harry Potter. But to be honest, Ray Fiennes is a much more accomplished actor.
He's been around a lot longer than that. But I
know, but like English Patient, those kind of movies, that's what Ray Fiennes is for. Quiz show.
Right.
Everyone else, all they think is Voldemort now. But I'm like, you realize he was such a more polished, accomplished actor than Voldemort.
Did we cross a weird, like, Mandela effect bridge?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden everybody, and I mean everybody, started calling him Ralph.
Yeah.
Like, everybody started calling him Ralph Fiennes.
I would also argue
it was and when you said it, that's what triggered it, because I'm like, I always thought it was Ray Fiennes.
That's what we always
everybody
called
started calling him Ralph Fiennes, and I'm like, am I saying it wrong or are they?
I think that's what he went by.
The collective conscience was like, well, we're all saying it this way now, so I just went with the masses.
There's another one that's like that for me, and I can't. Max von Sydow. That's the other one.
Von Sydow.
Everyone all of a sudden, like, he was Max von Sydow in the 70s,
Right.
the 80s. He got nominated for an Oscar there, what, was it 90s or whatever it was before he passed? And everyone started calling him Sydow.
Sydow,
I'm like,
yeah.
well, when did that change? Because he was Max von Sydow for every other, like, even if you did credits for, say, a classic like Strange Brew, starring Max von Sydow. They didn't say Sydow.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I kind of want to go back and look at old trailers and just to compare and contrast the two, because I'm sure you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I haven't had as close of an experience with that one as the first one, as Ray Fiennes, but yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot. They did crowbar him in Lord of the Rings too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But you all know my story about Lord of the Rings.
Legolas.
That's 12 hours of my life I ain't getting back.
He's not as good as William Dafoe.
William Dafoe?
Dafoe. No, it's Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
William Dafoe.
It's not William, is it? It's Willem Dafoe.
It's William.
No, I think it's Willem.
No, it's William.
All right, Nelson.
It used to be William Dafoe, and then he changed it.
I've always known him as Willem Dafoe. That was how I always knew it, but maybe it's just me. All right, we do have our interview with Ted Vigil, although we call him V-Hill. Speaking of names, he does go by Vigil. He's going to be here this weekend for the big John Denver Tribute Show happening at the Roswell Community Little Theater. We're going to play that interview for you in just a few minutes. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with town hall business and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very gusty wind today as a strong low pressure system moves across New Mexico. We'll hit about 70 on our afternoon high, wind gusting to 45 miles per hour, and we should have sunshine. Windy overnight down to 35 and partly cloudy, and then maybe an early shower on Thursday. Sunny in the afternoon, still breezy and cooler, high around 50. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 20%. Winds currently out of the south at 7 miles per hour. We do have the wind advisory. That will kick in at 11 today and remain in effect through 4 o'clock. Also have a red flag warning that will kick in at 10 o'clock this morning and remain in effect through 7 p.m. With that, it's bringing the winds. Still warm today. 72, the expected high under sunny skies, but could see some patchy blowing dust this afternoon because winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 15 this morning, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour later today. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 32. Winds will remain breezy out of the southwest, 15 to 25 miles per hour. We're looking at a 20% chance of snow before noon on Thursday. Otherwise, mostly sunny. High of only 49 tomorrow, with north winds 15 to 20, decrease in 10 to 15 for the afternoon. I don't know about snow. Like, if we do, it's probably just flurries. I can't imagine any kind of accumulation, but we'll see. Friday, we're looking at sunny skies, a high of 61, south winds 5 to 10, and then for the weekend, sunny and 66 for Saturday, sunny and 72 on Sunday. All right, it is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Ted Vigil, who's going to be at the Roswell Community Little Theater with his big John Denver Tribute Show this weekend. Don't miss it. That's coming up on the other side.
Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman bringing you the Joy of Marriage Minute. We are the founders of the Joy of Marriage Ministry and Conference and have pastored Church on the Move in Roswell, New Mexico for 20 years. For the past 17 years, Joy of Marriage has been investing in and helping marriages, and we are excited to bring you this year's conference.
This year, we will be joined by author, pastor, and professor D.A. Horton and his wife Alicia, as well as Pastor Diego and Cindy Mesa from Abundant Living Family Church in California. We also have a special concert from Grammy and Dove-nominated Christian country music artist Rhett Walker. This year's Joy of Marriage Conference will be February 17th through the 19th at Church on the Move in Roswell, New Mexico. And you can register online at cotmroswell.com.
So join us and experience the joy of marriage.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509. Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
And when joining us on the phone this morning, Ted Vigil, who's going to be doing his John Denver tribute show, two shows only here on Saturday, February 19th. Ted, thanks for spending a few minutes here with us.
Oh, it's great to be with you today.
Well, Ted, I gotta say, for the last couple weeks, all of us have been, I think, New Mexico-ifying your last name. Because we all have been calling you Ted Vigil because we see Vigil, and we think Vigil down here in New Mexico parts. And then when I got your voicemail saying it was Ted Vigil, I was like, oh, well, we've been New Mexico-ifying his name. So if a lot of people call you Ted Vigil around here, don't be offended.
I was just in Colorado doing a show yesterday, or day before yesterday, and that's what everybody called me, Mr. Vigil. So that is that. There's two pronunciations, but I'll take either one.
As long as I call you on time for the supper table, right?
That's right.
Perfect. So I guess we'll start here at the beginning. So how did when you got into music, was it because of John Denver, or did that come later? And then were you always into music as a musician, and then people started telling you, hey, you kind of look like John Denver and sound like John Denver, or was it John Denver from the get-go for you?
Well, back to the beginning, when I was a small boy, I just decided that I needed to be a drummer. So I started pulling all the pots and pans out of the cupboard and making my own little drum set. And so after I had beat everything in the kitchen, my parents said, maybe we should get him a drum set. So I played drums all through school, jazz band, marching band, stage band, and then I joined a rock band when I was in my teens.
Okay.
And I was the lead singer and the drummer. So that's how it started. I always loved music. Later on in life, I started picking up the guitar a little bit, and because I love to sing and I wanted to be able to accompany myself. I got married and had kids, and all the music kind of went on the back burner. And then I went to Laughlin, Nevada. After my kids grew up, I wanted to get back into music, and I went down there and I entered this contest. It was an international singing contest. I qualified in Washington State, and they flew me down there. I was one of the finalists. And that's where I sang a John Denver song, met a couple people that knew him personally, and worked with him. And they said, man, you look so much like John. It's creepy, and your voice is very similar. So have you ever thought about doing a tribute show? I said, well, I'm more of a rock and roller, but, I don't know. Anything's possible.
Sure.
And, man, I couldn't stop the ball from rolling once it started.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it started for me.
Kind of like when you say drummer and then musician, all I think of is a Dave Grohl-esque type, of course, Dave Grohl kind of got famous in Nirvana as the drummer, and now Foo Fighters, starting his own band, music songwriter. He's gone on to do much bigger than that. But, yeah, kind of the same thing where your drums got you into it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I still love my drums. Still play my drums once in a while.
So what's what I can imagine being a lead singer from a drum set. I mean, because it's all about breath control and everything with singing, but as far as physical exertion, I can imagine the drums are probably that instrument. That's got to be tricky to pull off lead vocals and drumming at the same time.
It is something that you have to master your instrument so you don't even have to think about it.
Gotcha.
And then sing. I remember when I first started doing it, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But after a couple of years of playing 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, every day, then it just becomes natural. You don't even have to think about it anymore.
Probably makes you better at both.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes you better at both there. So when people started telling you, hey, you kind of look and sound like John Denver, I mean, was he like from there? Did it kind of force you to say, you know what, I need to take a deeper dive into the life of John Denver, or were you pretty well versed on it, before you decided to make the tribute show and do what you're doing here?
Well, when I first started doing the tribute show, I actually was not a guitar player. I was a drummer.
Okay.
I did tracks. I played the tracks for most of the show. And then some of the songs I would play, I learned a few chords. And then my wife's like, if you're going to keep doing this, you really got to learn how to play that guitar. And so I really had to dive into that. And then I got to work with Steve Weisberg, who was John's lead guitar player from 1973 to 77. And he helped me tremendously learning all those guitar licks, Rocky Mountain High. But that's very difficult to play that and sing that at the same time. That took me a lot of hours.
Gotcha.
But I did dive into the life of John. I did go to Aspen, and I went to the Memorial Park, and I went to WinStar when WinStar was still going, and I did get to sing for his mother, Irma, and I got to meet his brother Ron.
Oh,
so
wow.
I got to learn a lot about John as a person.
Okay.
And I was really amazed at what an amazing human being he was, and how much he did for other people, and how much he gave.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, his impact on the world probably was as much off stage as it was on stage,
Yeah, certainly. The Foundation WindStar, where he helped to develop solar power and wind power way back in the day. His work with Jacques Cousteau and educating people about cleaning up the ocean way ahead of his time. All the things that he did for the vets. A lot of people don't know that he put a lot of money into doing camps for injured vets. People come back from war and missing limbs and legs. He had ski camps, and he did a lot for other people.
Sure.
World Hunger Project. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah. Well, you speaking of his support of vets, that kind of also, I would imagine, ties into his Roswell connection, which you're very aware of, and we've talked with a lot of people that live here that John Denver has a Roswell connection back when Walker Air Force Base was still here active. his father was stationed at that base. So their family spent time here back in that time. And so John Denver, can call Roswell home. And so, and I imagine because his father and had the military, kind of grown up as a brat, I'm sure that influenced his love of veterans and things like that too. So that kind of ties in with some more of the philanthropic side of him.
Yeah, certainly. The song that he wrote, This Old Guitar, he tells a story about how, because he had to move all the time being an Air Force brat, that the guitar helped him to make friends. He found that when he played the guitar and sang, people would come around and want to meet him and know him, and so it was a great thing for him to have that, and helped him develop as a young man.
Sure, and I imagine it helped him meet, because then they say a lot of guys learn guitar to meet women. That's kind of the rule of thumb.
Yeah, and that's one of the lines in the song. This old guitar gave me my lovely lady.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, does your time pretty much devoted to doing the John Denver tribute, or do you still get to kind of work on your own stuff, your rock and roll side of you?
I do both.
Okay.
I would say my touring schedule is very busy. So I've done a couple tours in Australia, 6-week tours with the Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson tribute.
Oh, wow.
They called it Kings of Country. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time on the road, but I still love my rock and roll. And in fact, I'm working on another record here. And I'm going down to Florida to do a few shows and meeting up with a bass player and steel guitar player. And I do start the project of working on an original record.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I got to ask this. Now that you like you said, you grew up a rocker, and John Denver wasn't really, the style of music you were into. So let me ask you this. Now where you're at in your life, is it fair to say that whatever you produce now, you cannot help but have John Denver influence it a little bit?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me as a singer and as a person. These songs, Back Home Again, Annie's song, Sunshine on My Shoulders, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, Rocky Mountain High.
Mm-hmm.
These songs have become my mantra, and they're good songs about real life experiences, and it's really changed my life. And as far as singing rock and roll,
mm-hmm.
a lot of it's kind of, for instance, I did Led Zeppelin, The Who, Rush, those kind of
mm-hmm.
artists. And there's a lot of screaming. It's not just, not necessarily just screaming, but rock and roll as far as that goes, Robert Plant.
Sure,
a lot of that stuff is. But learning to sing like John and have that voice control and really put a lot of emotion into the songs, put your heart into it, I think it made me a much better singer.
And then just his ability to do that and make it look effortless, if that's the, you know what I mean? Some singers, like you can tell they're working. Other singers are working, but it looks like it's a breeze for them. And I always felt like John Denver was that kind. You know what I mean? Just
oh, certainly.
Yeah, he just could whip this out of his hat. It's with effortless. Where I'm sure that's not the case, but he's very good at making it look that way.
Yeah, it's. I think that he just had such a great natural ability. Some people are just born to be singers.
Sure.
And it's just in their soul, and I believe that about John for sure.
Sure. So I got to ask, with doing the tribute show, now do you feel like you have to look a certain way all the time now to keep with that, or do you get? Is it kind of like your own personal life? How much does that impact your own personal life as far as because anytime you play someone else and people see you, they expect a certain thing, and it's easy to almost lose your own identity in that sometimes. Does that impact you personally in any way like that?
Oh boy, does it ever! I have to tell you this, but I'll go to the grocery store and I'll have my beanie hat on and in my sweatpants, and I'm out jogging, and people, did anybody ever tell you look like John Denver?
No, never.
It never stops. But I get, and people say, doesn't that bother you? Well, it doesn't. I don't really mind at all because, it's what I do.
Sure.
I love my job. It's not like, I spend an hour putting makeup on and trying to look like this person. And the two guys that I toured with in Australia, they spend at least 30, 40 minutes doing hair and makeup and, trying to look.
Sure.
I just don't have to do that.
That's awesome.
They say everybody in the universe has a doppelganger, somebody that they look like. There's somebody out there that looks just like you, and so I just came this way. Well, did you get your, did you have to, do some plastic surgery or how did you, no, I didn't.
I just put on a flannel and a hat and some glasses and here I am.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's because I when I saw the promotional poster for the event here, and I just thought it was John Denver, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not John Denver. It's like I just assumed, they got a picture of John Denver here, and then I no, that's not John, that's dead.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's all over the internet too, and people call me, hey, did you see this on the internet? They're selling T-shirts with your face on it, and it says John Denver. I'm like, oh, not again. And, people say you have to stop this. This isn't right. I'm like, how? I don't have any control over what people do.
Sure.
I put my face on a record and sell it. Bootleggers. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, man.
And I'll contact them. I'll say, hey, you're gonna have to, obviously you're not hooked up with Cherry Lane Music, John's Estate, so you need to stop.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I mean, I don't want people, because people are like, oh, I just bought your shirt. It's so cool. I'm like, that's not, no, I'm not selling that. That's not me. No.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just happens. Running out of time, but I do want to ask one more question here before we remind everybody again. Like you said, you've met with some of the family and talked to them. Did you feel like you had to get like a blessing from them, or did they give you one? I mean, was there any of that where they kind of, like give you the nod of like, yes, you can be John, was there any of those kind of moments where it felt like that you had to like be that for them, or was, like interacting with the family, how was that, how was that taken? How was their, interaction with you and how you were with them?
They were very warm.
Yeah.
They were very inviting. And I think the biggest compliment I got was from one of John's uncles, and Abe, and he said, I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, keeping John's memory alive.
Awesome.
Playing his music. These songs really hit the heart, and people miss him, and they enjoy going back in time and reliving good memories.
Good.
And that's what I bring.
I'm awesome. I was glad because sometimes it could go either way where, if especially, we lost him at such a young age and things. And so I didn't know if like seeing you brought up memories they weren't ready to relive again sometimes. You know what I mean? You never know sometimes when you come across people, whether they're still grieving or, you know what I mean? So I'm glad to see that they kind of embrace that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I had one lady come to me after the show and she said, I hadn't listened to John Denver since he passed until I came to see your show. She said, I needed to break that bondage, whatever. And she said, and she was just crying and said, thank you for what you do. And I feel like there was some healing that happened. So I know a lot of people grieved his death, and still.
Sure.
I mean, he was very young, very much loved, and I think will be all through time because good songs never die.
Absolutely. And but you also wonder too is I think maybe the fact that of his untimely death cemented him that much harder, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's because now we know we're never going to get anything of this caliber again. We need to cherish it more. Therefore, it makes him more revered. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, Ted, I do appreciate you spending some time with us here. Don't forget, the show is coming up here February 19th. It's one night or one day only, two shows, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. It's going to be at the Roswell Community Theater. Great news is this is a fundraising event. The Roswell Kiwanis Club and the Community Little Theater, the proceeds from the concert all will benefit. Well, half will benefit the Kiwanis Club. They're using that money to build an all-inclusive park, the first one here in Roswell, and then the communal theater. They gotta pay to fix that roof above their heads there. They've got some leaking issues and things, and it's not cheap to replace that big commercial building roof. So that's what the funds are going for. But they've got reserve seating is $30. You can also get the VIP experience for $40. Which I would go ahead and do that because every seat in the theater is an amazing seat. You do get preferred seating with the VIP. That's not really the draw. What I think the draw would be is you kind of get access to the VIP room where they're going to have, drinks and snacks for you to visit. And during like an intermission, you can go in there and mingle and things. You do get to meet Ted prior to the show, and you can have a few minutes with Ted here before he goes on. That's all part of it, too. But get your tickets at roswelltheater.com, or you can call 575-513-8119. Ted, is there anything you wanted to mention before we let you get back to it?
I just want to say it's a really fun show. It's a family-oriented show. I typically get kids up on stage for Grandma's Featherbed, and it's just a lot of fun. Good. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Roswell.
Be ready to have a good time and learn a little bit about John Denver as well. And like you said, bring the whole family. It's a family, fun, friendly show. And I think this is a great way to expose younger kids to the music of John Denver and really the history of music and getting them exposed to that. So bring them out. They're going to have a good time. Good deal. Well, Ted, appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you here on the 19th.
Sounds great. Sounds good.
I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin today in Carlsbad, where a man has been charged with robbery and for raping a store clerk. 37-year-old Kenneth Miller was arrested on Sunday after Carlsbad police said he went on a crime spree that included a series of crimes last weekend. The alleged crime spree ended at a convenience store on Pierce Street, where police say he raped the female store clerk over a 40-minute period. A SWAT team was called and removed Miller from the store. The investigation later revealed a robbery of a man at a Buffalo Wild Wings and the Hibbett Sports Store at the Northgate Mall, where Miller is accused of assaulting an employee. The Chavez County Health Council is providing residents with free COVID-19 at-home tests. The organization said it obtained 500 at-home rapid tests that it will give out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 to 1 both days. The event will be at the Health Council office, 1600 Southeast Main Street in Roswell. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has one less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Federal safety regulators say they will retain power to approve Boeing 787 airliners for flight, rather than return that authority to the aircraft maker, which hasn't been able to deliver any new Dreamliner planes since last May because of production flaws. The FAA said that once deliveries of the 787s resume, it will perform final inspections and retain power to clear each new plane. U.S. highway safety regulators are about to allow new high-tech headlights that can automatically tailor beams so they can focus on dark areas of the roadway and don't create glare for oncoming drivers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it issued a final rule allowing what's called adaptive driving beam headlights on new vehicles. On Wall Street, the Dow up 422 points, the Nasdaq up 348, and the S&P 500 rose 69 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very gusty wind today as a strong low pressure system moves across New Mexico. We'll hit about 70 on our afternoon high, wind gusting to 45 miles per hour, and we should have sunshine. Windy overnight down to 35 and partly cloudy, and then maybe an early shower on Thursday. Sunny in the afternoon, still breezy and cooler, high around 50. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
If your car breaks down, no need to cry, because there's always a pal nearby at Big O. At Big O Tires. Locally owned will get you in gear. That's because you've known us for years at Big O. Big O Tires. Don't need to sweat any extra labor. You can always trust a good neighbor at Big O. At Big O Tires. The best service is part of our code. Need a cup of sugar? We're down the road at Big O. At Big O Tires.
You can trust the team at Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Come in today and get a $70 reward card on select Michelin tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Not valid with other offers. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price, not to exceed $35 where permitted. Void where prohibited. Additional retailer offer advertised within is independent from the manufacturer's offer. See store for details. Some stores in Missouri, Minnesota, and Kansas are company owned.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The Hounds are back on the hardwood Thursday night, February 17th, as they welcome in nationally ranked Lubbock Christian to Greyhound Arena. The ENMU women's team welcomes the 13th ranked Lubbock Christian women at 5, and the men's basketball team welcomes in number 3 ranked Lubbock Christian at 7:30. Don't miss out on every three-pointer, fast break, and dunk during the season. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are always free. Visit GoEasternAthletics.com for more information. ENMU men's and women's basketball, all in.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main, or call 622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8:51. Stay tuned next hour. About 9:15 or so, we're going to have Andrew Moore join us from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, getting us an update on upcoming events and things, including the big news happening in the world of McDonald's here this Friday. It's finally happening. The grand opening of the South Main McDonald's at 10 a.m. this Friday. They're going to open up. They're going to start serving a lunch menu at 10 a.m. on Friday. So they'll open up at 10 with the lunch menu. Of course, we'll have a big grand opening celebraciones. And then Saturday morning, they'll open normal time with a full menu and everything else. But the grand opening of the South Main McDonald's will take place this Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. So you can come visit for the first time this Friday. Again, beginning at 10, come see the new digs at the South Main McDonald's. I know It took a lot longer than the Snowberger family wanted it to take place. But because really this all started pre-COVID. I think he had all the plans in place and maybe even broke ground, I think, before COVID hit. I'm not 100% certain on the groundbreaking, but it all was going down before COVID hit. And then COVID hit, and the world just changed, with supply, demand, getting things, cost, all that stuff really put a lot of wrinkles and things for opening that McDonald's here on the South End. But hurdles have been hurdled, obstacles have been removed, and things are happening now where this Friday, again, beginning at 10 a.m., they're going to have the big grand opening of the South Main McDonald's. Like I said, 10 o'clock, they'll start with the lunch menu. So if you're looking for an Egg McMuffin, you're going to have to wait till Saturday morning at the South Main. But you can swing by any of the other McDonald's that morning and get you your breakfast fare. But they'll start with the lunch menu beginning at 10 a.m. this Friday. We'll talk all about. We'll try to get Nick or some of his management team on between now and then to give us the skinny and give us just kind of the story of what they've gone through as a team. Snowberger, their team, getting this thing back up, and it's been not as smooth as they had initially hoped, but they got her done, so they're happy about that, and we all are, obviously. So pretty cool that we finally get to see that McDonald's here on Friday. So make sure you get out there, and if you can't be out there Friday, then get out there this weekend and get you. I'm telling you, maybe we can get if I can get Nick in here, maybe I can get him to work on a breakfast fish sandwich for all of us. People are like, I don't want that. I do. I think no one wants to put egg and fish together. And I think we could. I think there's a place in this world where we can put egg and fish together on a sandwich. And I think they go together magically. I think they will. Obviously, the way you prepare the fish and the egg are always, but if you take a fried fish filet o fish patty from McDonald's and put, maybe the Egg McMuffin egg white or even a scrambled egg on there, I think either one would be good. Go ahead, Roy.
I second that notion.
I think it will be good. Pair with some cheese and maybe, I'm telling you, I'd even throw a piece of bacon on there. Bacon.
Really?
Yes, bacon.
Pig and fish?
Yes. Swine, fish, chicken. That's a real
now you're getting ballsy.
Sea, air, land situation going on there. That's the way I do it, but that's just me. But I think I would even like because I know they got their hack menus and everything, and I think there's way more hacks that would be out there.
Because I like weird stuff like that, like fish and eggs and stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be a good combo. And I'm kind of curious why no one's had tried to put
hash browns. Why not?
Yeah, they put hash browns on sandwiches. Like there's the breakfast sausage McMuffin. I think it's a McMuffin, and they put the hash brown on it, and it's tasty. But I'm not seeing that with French fries. I know McDonald's French fries are the gold standard. You know what I mean? They're the top in the industry. And I don't care who you are. If you've eaten their fries, you can't argue with that. You just can't. They have great fries. But there's not a lot of putting those fries in sandwiches and things. You'd think like Pittsburgh people who make a living out of stuffing fries on sandwiches over there.
Or on pizza.
Yeah, you would think they would try throwing some of them fries on a Big Mac or a quarter pounder or maybe even a chicken sandwich of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah?
Why not? It can't be bad. It's deliciousness paired with more deliciousness. Why not mix them together?
Just go all heathen and heathen out.
Now I support the people that do this. I just don't like it myself.
Yeah.
But I know like people like to dip their fries in milkshakes and things like that as that sweet, salty, sweet combo. People appreciate that. I'm not one of those people.
What is it? Wendy's called Frosties?
Yeah, Wendy's does the Frosties.
I like to dip my fries in a chocolate Frosty.
I think that's where that started, was there. But it's spread into like McFlurries and milkshakes and other ice cream fry pairings. And I'm okay with that. People do you. I don't like it myself. I don't the cold hot combo ice and liquid does not pair well with potato. in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It's the saltiness, I think, that like goes with the cold sugar.
But I do appreciate sweet and salty. Like chocolate covered pretzels are a top 5 tasty snack for me. I love them.
Yes. I will say that Tanner was disappointed when he found out about the hack thing at McDonald's, and he thought that they were going to do it
to build it. Yeah, no. That's part of the hack is you have to build it yourself. That's the deal. You've got to create yourself. They give you the ingredients, and it's up to you to make your vision of the hack sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no rules on it. You know, you can in theory,
right?
Say no. Say I want the land, sea, and air burger, and that's the one with the chicken nuggets, the fish, and the Big Mac.
Right.
Say you want your nugs on the top instead of the bottom, or in the middle between the fish and the beef. You know, I mean, there's people have preferences there, and that could also change your taste game. You know, if say your Big Mac sauce is all over your chicken nuggets instead of farther down on the fish or something, that might change the way it tastes a little bit. So you do you on that, and maybe you need to find out your combos. That's a lot of work for just eating a sandwich. I get it. And at the end of the day, you're like, I just want to eat it, move on with my day. And I get that too. But if you got time to invest, to sit down and try these concoctions and things, give it a go.
I'm surprised they don't serve Big Mac sauce by itself for nuggets.
You'd think.
That's a good idea.
I think they should make it available, like their barbecue or honey mustard. I would totally agree with that. I think that is a move McDonald's should have done a long time ago.
Do they have tartar sauce? They do, right? Yeah,
they put it on their fish. I don't think you can get it.
Yeah, no, they did. They put it on the fish. That's
yeah,
right.
I don't know for certain whether you can ask for like a packet of tartar sauce, or I think if you got it, it would come out of whatever.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, but yeah, they are on the Filet-O-Fish. That's the one place that uses tartar sauce at McDonald's.
Yes,
is the Filet-O-Fish.
Give me back the Filet-O-Fish.
And by the way, a double Filet-O-Fish is greater, tasty-wise, than a single. To me, the bread to meat to cheese ratio is better with a double Filet-O-Fish patty than it is a single.
Oh yeah,
I know that part of it is fat guyism, and I subscribe to fat guyism.
It's worth the price.
But I'd say your bun to tartar sauce to cheese to meat ratio is a better proportion,
it's balanced
with the double. So, by the way, our guest for next hour is here. I just got a text. So, Roy, you're on duty there. Actually, it's 9:00 now. We need to go play some news anyway. So, it is closing in on 9:00. Time for some town hall news. Like I said, we'll have the folks from the chamber join us next hour. We'll be back on the other side. Do not go away.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Rejecting former President Trump's claim of executive privilege, President Biden has ordered the release of Trump White House visitor logs to the Democrat-controlled House panel investigating the U.S. Capitol riot. There's been some talk of hitting the pause button on the federal gas tax.
Some Democratic senators are calling for suspending the federal gas tax for the remainder of the year to help consumers struggling with rising fuel prices. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked if the president is on board.
I have nothing to predict for you at this point, but all options remain on the table.
However, several key lawmakers in both political parties oppose the plan. The federal gas tax has been 18.4 cents per gallon since 1993. Greg Clugston, the White House.
The NATO chief says, at least in this case, you can't believe your eyes.
The Russian Defense Ministry has released a video showing a trainload of armoured vehicles moving across a bridge away from Crimea, the Black Sea Peninsula, that Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014. A day earlier, the ministry reported the start of a pullback of troops following military exercises near Ukraine. But Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has thrown cold water on those statements. Russia has amassed about 150,000 troops east, north and south of Ukraine, sparking Western concerns it's planning an attack. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
3 San Francisco school board members have been recalled by the voters. Critics had accused them of misplaced priorities like the renaming of more than 40 schools, putting progressive politics ahead of the needs of children in the midst of a pandemic. Watching Wall Street, stocks deep in the red so far this morning. Right now, the Dow down 254 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index is off 146 points, and the S&P is down 31. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first box, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Human Rights Watch is accusing rebel fighters in Ethiopia's embattled Tigray region of wartime atrocities, including the slaughter of innocent civilians.
In the northeastern Amhara town of Kobo, Amnesty claims that Tigrayan forces killed unarmed civilians in an apparent retaliation for resistance from local fighters. Elsewhere, in a village called Chana, rebels sexually assaulted at least 30 women and girls as young as 14. Public properties, including schools and medical facilities, were either looted or vandalized. The Tigrayan People's Liberation Front has not responded to the latest accusations and has previously denied similar allegations of the deliberate targeting of civilians.
The BBC's Kalkadan Ibeltal. France hosting a summit devoted to fighting against Islamic extremists in West Africa as Paris considers withdrawing its troops from Mali while maintaining military operations in the broader Sahel region. News and analysis, townhall.com. General Motors is set to start making the all-electric Chevy Bolt once again.
GM will resume production in early April after an 8-month pause due to a series of battery fire recalls. The automaker says that battery supplier LG Energy Solution is now making enough to supply replacement modules for the recalls as well as to resume production. The company will start making hatchback and SUV versions of the Bolt on April 4th, and those should start reaching dealers a few weeks later. Keith Peters reporting.
COVID may be fading in the U.S., but that's not stopping the Biden administration from seeking billions of dollars more to fight the pandemic. The AP reports the administration asking Congress for another $30 billion as the number of COVID cases in the U.S. continues to decline. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow down 242 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number, here comes Roy. 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters. Thank you, Roy. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
You're a little slow to the party, Sean.
Well,
I'm a busy guy, all right?
In all fairness to Sean, he's literally keeping the world afloat right now.
Oh, no, I'm aware.
Well, the rest of us...
It takes a lot to keep plates spinning, you know?
Yeah. I'm waiting for, to be honest, I'm waiting for Sean to just kind of, I'm not even supposed to be here today moment and just have one of those.
No, see, I like it here.
Destroying a copier in the field, one of those things.
Yeah, I like it here. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, if you ever have the need to destroy a copier, I have one that can be pushed out onto 2nd Street.
Dude, for like a good solid 2 weeks, there was a copier out back, and we were toying with just taking it out into the middle of nowhere and office spacing it.
Oh, that would have been fun.
I would love to do.
Just to get some aggression out.
And I know the baseball bat and everything's much more effective, but in the movie, I can't remember which one of them does it, but they do a move where they do like a back drop kick. Yes. Yep. And they attack it with the heel of their shoe. Mm-hmm. Kinda, I'm sure it's not effective.
I want to say
but it looks cool, and I'm going to do it anyway.
I want to say it was...
in slow motion, of course.
Nayin Najjar. What's his face? Yeah. I want to say it was him.
Yes.
Nayin Najjar.
Yes, the guy from India or wherever.
I couldn't remember his first name, but I remember his last name.
He was a good cusser.
Yeah.
Pound for pound.
Oh, yes, he was.
He's an excellent cusser.
yes, he was.
Some of us are.
Dude, I've had moments where that movie just goes through my head. Like I was just randomly, I saw a guy on the street, I just locked my door, and I had that moment in my head. I'm like, oh God, he heard me lock it.
I got to be honest, of all the crap they're rebooting lately, why can't they reboot something good like Office Space? I would love to see a more modern version of Office Space.
No.
I would like to see it.
No, some of those classics you can't redo.
It just needs to stay as good and perfect as it is.
I would like to see Mike Judge use technology in today's standards and apply that into an office scenario.
Do you really think that they could make it better?
No, but I still want to see it.
This is kind of my opinion,
yeah.
And this is where I get nerdy. This is kind of my opinion about the whole Futurama reboot.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back. It ended perfectly.
Yeah.
There's no way you can make a better finale than the one they did, and now they're bringing it back as a cash grab. It feels wrong.
I just want to see Mike Judge do more things like that.
Sure, like that, absolutely.
Like Idiocracy, I love that movie, and if he can do another movie of the same vein that I like equally, I'm down. But if it's different,
I would say.
But if Mike Judge is involved, I feel okay with it regardless.
Instead of a reboot, if they did a revisit, I would maybe be okay with that.
Okay, like
if
all
they
these same people
back in with,
20 years later?
Because the last thing we heard was the main character was working in construction.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, is he happy now? Where's his life now?
Watch your cornhole, bud.
What's Ron Livingston up to these days?
Well, it's like the reboot for Fresh Prince.
Oh, that looks bad.
God.
I'm mad about that.
The original Fresh Prince was a comedy.
Yeah.
And now Will Smith is bringing it back, and it's going to be serious, and it's going to be the drama, so it's going to be more like real life, what it really would have been like.
I hate to burst Will Smith's bubble. People aren't watching Fresh Prince for the moral message at the end. They're watching it for the humor and the laughter.
Right.
That's why they watch it.
Exactly. So,
what would Will Smith be like if he was young and angsty?
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they're turning it into like Boys in the Hood.
That's what it looks like. I was very disappointed with the previews.
I would argue that in its anti-comedy, it makes it one of the funniest things out there. I mean, if you watch it from that perspective of like, this is supposed to be a comedy, it's pretty funny how they're trying to make it serious.
Yeah. Now, in all fairness,
Philadelphia, born and raised.
I should watch it before I give an opinion, but the trailers...
Agreed.
The trailers do not excite me at all.
With that said, I will too be watching the first at least few episodes.
But the trailers do nothing for me when it comes to Will Smith and that particular franchise.
I was gonna say young Will Smith, but edgy, or you said angsty would would just be his son Jaden.
Well, that's true. It's basically just Will Smith and skinny jeans.
Well, isn't any of his family involved with this, or is it just
Will Smith is the executive producer.
I know he is, but I didn't know if like his kid was crowbarred in here somewhere.
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
I
funny
have
is
my
like because
handy dandy.
all I know is when Will Smith tries to crowbar his family in his joints, they never work out right. I will give you Next Karate Kid. If you remember, that was his son, and they got
no. It was Hilary Swank.
No, not Next Karate Kid. The one where they get maybe I got the name wrong.
You're talking about the new one where reboot.
Yeah, the one where they got his kid in it, and they got Jackie Chan to replace Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Now I love that thought, but Jackie Chan is no Mr. Miyagi. That's a whole nother.
Correct.
That's like getting Bruce Lee to replace him. You don't do that. Mr. Miyagi wasn't about the art of butt whipping. He was about the art of being smart about your butt whipping, and Jackie Chan ain't that. Jackie Chan hangs off of helicopters, and, well, not now. He's like 8 70 or whatever he is. But,
something like that.
Yeah, but back in the day, you know, Rumble in the Bronx style, that's Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he was
Mr.
just
Miyagi.
kick butt.
Mr. Miyagi was like the backup at Al's Diner on a Happy Day.
Yep.
That's.
But he had a steady hand, so it was fine.
But he knew karate, which was like you see Jackie Chan, you're like, don't mess with Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan looks like even his older age, he's still, you know, not Chuck Norris-esque, but he's in that ballpark.
It always made me chuckle how what Pat Morita sounded like in real life. Like he really had a voice like that.
Like Pat Morita, I feel like
that.
I want to go have a shake with him and sit down and, you know, talk about fishing or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't work for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Not to mention, and I love the Karate Kid TV show. I love it, but this is getting ridiculous. It's a karate tournament. We don't need to blow up car dealerships in people's houses over some kids' karate.
I still haven't finished the new season.
It's just straight ridiculous.
Well, the first 2 seasons, I was like, okay, this is. It could happen, okay, other than the full high school jumble, you know, where everybody's jumping each other, everybody, you know, that, I was like, okay, that's a little over the top, because at what point does the administration jump in and go, you know what, you're all expelled.
Right.
To be honest,
canceled.
The entire cast of the Karate Kid movies that are in these new TV shows are all adults suffering from mental health problems. That's all they're doing. It's all of them living in their past, making too big a deal about their kids' karate camp or whatever it is going on.
2 people I've talked to have had the exact same opinion in separate conversations, and that is, I love this show, but I hate every single person on it.
Yes!
I can't. They love the show for some reason, but every single person is completely
And
unlikable.
everybody's the bad guy. Like, at what point did Miyagi become the bad dojo?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on!
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then and I hate the fact that I like John 1 minute. And then I hate him the next. Like, Reese is another one. You're like, all right, I'm rooting for him now. Wait a minute. No, I'm not.
And I know what they're doing. They're trying to make it's the yin-yang thing that all good has a little bad and all bad has a little good. But it's to the point where it's just annoying. There's no antagonist and protagonist.
You would think these 3 individuals, and I'm talking about Reese, Johnny, and the Silver Dude, do they not have anything else going on in their lives where this is all they're consumed with is Karate Kid stuff?
Apparently not.
Like, they went to Vietnam, they're veterans, clearly they had a lot going on. One's a millionaire. This is where they worry about, I'm like, really? The kids karate? That's my whole problem swallowing this pill. But anyway. But I do love it. It's fun and it's stupid. And
well, it's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah. If you can suspend the disbelief of none of it seems practical or real, then it's pretty good.
Well, yeah, or like going out in the woods and teaching your kids to beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah.
No parent would ever allow that to happen. Not today.
And I get it. Maybe it's because movies are trying to be more realistic now, if that makes sense. Like when we grew up, like Commando and, you know, like all these movies that were over the top ridiculous. Any Sylvester Stallone movie, you know, Rambo, Cobra, any of these movies, they're all over the top. You know, and you know in a real world that would never happen. Like Cobra would never happen in a real world. Like it wouldn't be a whole town and shootouts and people just letting this stuff happen. You know, some creepy dude. You know, just none of that would really like happen for any more than a minute.
Yeah.
Where this goes on for weeks, months.
Well, Rambo, they would have just taken him out.
Yeah. Well, Rambo, that's ridiculous. Which the one that got me the most in that one? It's the one where he went to Russia. Is that the third one?
Like I was going to say, I think that's 3.
Okay. That's where it got so ridiculous, where he's standing on a mountain, sitting there. He's got an attack helicopter firing everything at him. Missiles, guns, the whole 9. And he's just standing there in slow motion, do-do-do-do-do, pulling out an arrow, making sure it's the right arrow, doing this you got a helicopter just throwing every piece of lead at you, and he's just do-do-do-do-do, pulls out his bow and arrow and shoots down the helicopter.
Have you seen the Black Widow movie?
Yes, I have.
That exact same thing happens where they're in a helicopter and they're trying to break the guy out of the prison. And there's like, none of these guys shooting you?
People are trained. How do you not hit nothing?
Yeah.
You can't shoot one man with a bow and arrow and you got an attack helicopter? I know Rambo's pretty tough, but
not that tough.
Come on, guy. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
My main problem with the Karate Kid reboot, the Jackie Chan one, is he doesn't even teach him karate. He teaches him kung fu.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think I got
kung fu kid.
Yes.
So it's not Miyagi-Do. Joe Karate. It's garbage.
Yeah.
It's false advertising.
That's why it stunk. That's why you don't see him in the reboot. You don't see Jackie Chan walking around helping Daniel Miyagi out, do you?
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get move forward in the hour here so we can talk some actual business.
Absolutely.
With Andrea here. It is 9:16. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very gusty wind today as a strong low-pressure system moves across New Mexico. We'll hit about 70 on our afternoon high, wind gusting to 45 miles per hour, and we should have sunshine. Windy overnight, down to 35 and partly cloudy, and then maybe an early shower on Thursday. Sunny in the afternoon, still breezy and cooler, high around 50. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Still complaining about the arrow thing. That one's salty to me. Currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 15%. Ooh, that's low. And winds are out of the south at 17. Due to that low humidity and the fact we're getting wind today, this is why you're going to see these two next advisories jump up on your radar here. We have a wind advisory that kicks in at 11. That's going to remain in effect through 4 o'clock today. We got a red flag warning that will kick in at 10, and that will remain in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. With the fact that our humidity right now is at 15%, and we're going to see some patchy blowing dust this afternoon. Sunny skies and a high of 72, but winds are going to be up out of the south 10 to 20, picking up 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later today. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 32. Sorry, I slurred it there. Will be breezy still. Southwest winds 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. They'll drop down 15 to 20 after midnight tonight. We are looking at a 20% chance of snow tomorrow morning before noon. Mostly sunny, high of 49. So if we see moisture, it's going to be flurries or rain probably. Winds will be out of the north 15 to 20. But decreasing 10 to 15 for the afternoon. So we'll see more of the wind in the morning than the afternoon tomorrow. Friday, we'll be back into sunny skies with highs around 61. Saturday, sunny and 66, and sunny and 72 on Sunday. So really, tomorrow's kind of our crappy day for weather, and then it kind of gradually gets a little nicer. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Andrew Moore will officially join us with the Chamber of Commerce. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dennis Kintai, Mayor of Roswell. Since becoming mayor in 2014, we've accomplished a lot. We've cleaned out numerous derelict structures that spoil our neighborhoods. We've constructed a state-of-the-art aquatic center. We have built 2 new splash pads in city parks for families to enjoy. We have invested over $25 million to revitalize our air center. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Roswell has stayed open and free while we work to ensure everyone's safety. Today, we are under attack from those trying to impose Santa Fe values on our way of life. I will always fight to keep Roswell values front and center. We've done a lot, but there's more to be done. I'm asking you to vote to keep me, Dennis Kintai, as your mayor on March 1st. Together, we can keep Roswell free. This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Fall in love and save this month at Roswell Nissan. Sweet deals across the lot so your wallet can feel the love. Get a 2015 Chrysler 200 for only $195 a month, a 2017 Versa for only $185 a month, or a 2012 Chevy Sonic for only $135 a month. 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and $2,000 guaranteed on your trade. So drag it in. Plus, stop by for a box of sweets and spin the wheel. Get a box of chocolates with a test drive and a $30 Pasta Cafe gift card with purchase. Fall in love at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
The Hounds are back on the hardwood Thursday night, February 17th, as they welcome in nationally ranked Lubbock Christian to Greyhound Arena. The ENMU women's team welcomes the 13th ranked Lubbock Christian women at 5, and the men's basketball team welcomes in number 3 ranked Lubbock Christian at 7:30. Don't miss out on every three-pointer, fast break, and dunk during the season. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are always free. Visit GoEasternAthletics.com for more information. ENMU men's and women's basketball, all in.
Nook's Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to you with new winter hours. The restaurant is now open 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and the store 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Be sure to get your last order in by 6:30 p.m. Delicious, authentic dishes, including a variety of Thai noodle soups, dried egg noodles, dumplings, and more, served at your table or to go. While you wait, browse the store with lots of fresh new ingredients like galunga, lemongrass, lime leaf, and Thai chili. Nook's Asian Market, South Main, Roswell.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, and I'll try not to cough on you. I'm trying to keep
I have kids.
my sputum over to this side.
I have kids. I'm kind of immune to germs at this point.
Well, good news is I'm not spreading COVID. I'm just have a cold. It's every test that's been done with my wife and I, we're all negative and all good. It's a cold. It's what it is.
Well, there are
February,
things.
Colds happen.
And I've heard that there is a really nasty stomach bug going around, so be thankful you don't have that.
And I may have had some of that last week because I was having some stomach, and so was my wife, but I just kind of chalked it up to my medicine, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But either way, if it's something going around and it shows up at school, I usually get it because my wife gets it and it comes to me. So we're kind of the we're like the
canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, the Christmas Hickory Farm sampler. We get it every year, whether you want it or not.
Oh, God bless America.
Well, good news is lots happening around town, and the chambers got their finger on the pulse here about it.
Well, I'm trying to. I'm finally able to get out of my shell, so to speak, and be able to do all the things that I love doing. And of course, yesterday, apparently we both got the same phone call.
Yes.
That we have the grand reopening at the McDonald's South location. 10 a.m. is on Friday.
Yes, this Friday.
And they will do lunch only, but then starting Saturday, they'll go back to normal hours and full menu. So everybody be there or be square.
What time
Friday at 10.
I think they open like 5 or 6 in the morning, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah, it's early. So they'll be open early for breakfast and taking care
That's
of
right.
everybody.
So all the kids can go and
check out the Playland and everything else that's there.
Playland. Roswell High is literally a block away, so I have no doubt next week that those kids will be, around the corner. It'll be a line around the building getting their McDonald's. So that's where the McDonald's app will come in handy.
Absolutely.
Or DoorDash or whatever
Which
else.
you get exclusive. Like there's items you can only get to that app that you can't order if you walk into the store. Certain deals, like certain exclusive, like only like for instance, like one I used to use all the time was it was like a 20-piece chicken nugget for $4.99. That was one that you could only get through the app. I haven't seen it recently, but a lot of times they do a lot of deals with celebrities or different deals that are only through
my kids
app.
My kids are experts on the app and also DoorDash because there's certain things that way as well. So the kids.
Yeah. And with that app, you can order, to pick up through the drive-through, dine in, delivery, curbside, all the above. They do all that.
McDonald's Friday, 10 a.m. Be there, be square.
Come see the new South Main McDonald's, and like you said, it's open for lunch beginning at 10 a.m. Friday.
Yep.
And then Saturday it'll be open normal hours with the full menu, and like it is every day. That's what it'll be there.
So get out there. And then, of course, at the chamber, we've been very busy. We are officially in election season.
Yes.
At the moment, we are hot and heavy with the municipal elections.
Yeah, early voting.
In case anybody is under a rock and is not aware of the fact that we've got city council and mayor elections going on right now.
Yep, early voting's going on right now. Election day will be here, March 1, I think?
March 1st, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday I went in and I checked. There was 538 votes cast at City Hall.
Okay.
And in the 2 days that they were open so far at the county administration building, only 68 votes had been cast. So get out and vote.
Yeah.
Get out and vote. Let's not have this be a low turnout, because this is even low for our municipal elections. And with that said, granted, we still have 2 weeks.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I think because there's so many options this election, we got a four-way mayor race. We got a couple city council races that have 4 and 5 people running. Yep. I think people are really doing their homework, and that might be some of the numbers.
I hope so.
I think maybe you're not seeing as many people early voting because they're really trying to decide who's the best candidate for what they believe in.
I really hope that's the case, because tomorrow we're actually having 4 candidates over at the chamber for a meet and greet with the municipal elections. We at the Chamber of Commerce do not endorse any one particular candidate, whether it be in the municipal elections or going forward, primary general elections. We don't take a stance, but we do provide the ability for anyone running for office to come in and do a meet and greet, whether it be in the evening or we can set up for a luncheon if that's kind of more your style. So last night we had Mark Ronchetti, and it was a packed house. We standing room only. Good. It was fantastic.
Good.
Last week we had Greg Zanetti. Both gentlemen are running for governor on the Republican side. Tomorrow we're having 4 municipal candidates. We have Guy Malone, who is a mayoral candidate. We have Juliana Halverson, Ed Hildebrand,
Ward 3,
and Daryl Johnson, who is 4.
Ward
so
4,
2, 3, and 4. Like I said, with that said, that doesn't mean that we are endorsing any of these candidates.
Just providing an opportunity for people to come meet them, learn about their
But they have contacted us and they said, can we come in and do a meet and greet? And I said, of course.
Sure.
I love to have a good party. So
same opportunity available to all the other candidates.
Exactly. And I have reached out to every other candidate. One of the things that we have done is we've got a special section in our weekly email that for candidates, like I said, once again, not just municipal, but up and down the ticket from now until November. Anybody that sends us their information, I am happy to put it in our weekly email. We'll put it on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well, because it's all different people to just get that information out.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about Guy Malone, come on. If you don't know anything about Juliana, Ed, or Daryl, please come and ask them the hard questions. Let me tell you, there were some pretty hard-hitting questions last night for Mark Ronchetti, and I really appreciated it because people weren't just like, fluffy stuff. They really wanted to get to the meat and get to know that candidate. So please come. We provide some light refreshments. We'll have appetizers and beer, wine, sodas, water as well.
This is that, we talk about the world we live in right now, and if you're happy or not happy with the way things are going, in reality, in actuality, this is how you change it. In elections, you vote for the people that line up with the things and that you believe in, and the only way you can get it right is do your research.
That's right. So come on.
Yeah.
And then Friday, so Thursday, tomorrow, is our municipal people. Then Friday, 5:30, meet and greet. We have Jay Block, another
gubernatorial candidate.
Yep. And then Thursday of next week, so a week from tomorrow, we are having Rebecca Dow, another governor, and that rounds out all of our governor candidates on the Republican ticket.
Okay.
And she's doing a luncheon on Thursday, so that'll be 11:30 to 1.
Okay.
So doors will open at 11:30. Come in, grab your plate, sit down, so she can be ready to talk to everybody between 11:45 and noon.
Good deal.
Because we want to get people out and back to work, because obviously it's a weekday.
Sure, absolutely. So please call RSVP for that one. I'm guessing for food, I'm thinking, right? Or
We'll have plenty.
Okay, perfect. Good deal. Have they announced the caterer yet, or is
I'm going back and forth because it was a last-minute change.
Gotcha.
She was supposed to be in the evening.
So working those details.
So we're working
More
those
to come
details.
on that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good deal.
But it'll be good food either which way.
Of course. But I know some people, we're going to have X, and they're like, I'm coming now.
So all of our meet and greets in the evening so far have been catered by Peppers. So we're probably going to switch it up for Rebecca for lunch.
Cool.
Not anything against anybody, but once again, just trying to
get more
spread
team
the
members
love, share the
opportunities
love.
to do their thing. So,
And, with that said, but once again, with meet and greets, if, the governor wanted to come and do a meet and greet, I'm opening those doors because
Absolutely.
once again, you need to be able to ask those questions.
Sure.
I'm not going to allow any tomfoolery. If it gets ugly, you're out.
Right.
And I don't care what candidate it is.
Let's keep it adult.
We can be disagreeable without being ugly.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. Things don't get done. And I get it. People's emotions, it's an emotional thing. Politics is a very emotional beast. It is. But
exactly, especially coming from me, for me to say I'm not going to allow that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I am definitely one of those that would want to throat punch certain people at any given time.
Let's face it, people, don't want to deal with that mess.
No.
And they're not going to show up if they know it's going to be a bunch of that.
Yep.
And I know that's fun and entertaining and salacious for a hot minute, but it's scary because in actuality, these are real decisions being made and are going to impact our daily lives. And so we need to not act like children when it comes to making decisions on who's the right people to make these calls for us.
Yep.
So for you to just be nasty because it makes you feel better may not help the situation here. So we don't want that any going on. You want to go home and yell at them, picture them all day, or whatever you want to do, knock yourself out. That's God bless you. It's America. You do what you
But
feel
there's
like
a
you want
time
to.
and a place for it.
Yeah.
I've reached out to all of the lieutenant governor candidates.
Okay.
Howie Morales on the Democrat side, obviously, as well as there's 4 or 5 on the Republican ticket. I've reached out to all of them, and we're in the works of securing dates. So once again, be looking for all of these candidates. We're lining up attorney general candidates, state auditor, state treasurer, because a lot of these are all coming up.
Right after this municipal election, it's going to get hot and heavy with the general election.
Exactly. And for example, the attorney general is going to be probably a hot and heavy race as well, because Hector Balderas, who is the current sitting attorney general, is termed out.
Oh, okay.
So there's
going to be a new face regardless.
Yes. And so we're reaching out to everybody. Come on and get to know these people so you can vote, because sometimes some people do actually, cross ballot vote.
Absolutely.
And go, hey, I'll vote for this particular party on this, but a different party. And,
Some people want balance, which weird,
Yeah.
and so they vote that way. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to getting all of those candidates. And of course, I will be attending. I've been officially invited to both party conventions. The Republican Party convention is in 2 weeks. And then, as we all know, the Democrat Party is coming to Roswell the weekend after the mayoral race, the city council race. And I've been invited to go to that.
Okay.
And I will use my official capacity as the chamber president to go and invite all of these candidates from both conventions and say, hey, let's get you through here. People want to meet you.
Yeah. Give you a platform
Especially
to.
since we are all 3 congressional districts in Roswell now.
I got a feeling Chavez County is going to be very interesting in future elections.
I think
for the
so.
State. I think they've kind of set the table where we're going to see a lot of people passing through this area.
I sure hope
because
so.
they kind of have to now.
So let's get these people in and get to know them. So that's all of the stuff on the election side, because as we all know, I love politics. I love legislative session, which, by the way, the last day is tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're scheduled to have Nybert talking with us in the morning, and maybe Candy Spence as well, and hopefully Phelps Anderson to join us and on the phone and give us that last day recap.
That's awesome, because there's been a lot of stuff going on. which then pushes us into March, where we are going to have Rise with Roswell Ag Breakfast. I'm so excited.
It's been at least 1 year. What, 1 year, maybe 2 years?
It's been 2 years,
2 years
because it got canceled the week before it was supposed to go off in 2020.
Next year. Yeah, so it's been 2 years of no Rise with Roswell.
Correct. So we're bringing it back. Tim Moffitt, the agricultural comedian, is our guest speaker.
Perfect.
So tickets are $25 a piece or $500 a table.
Okay.
And we will be in the Farm Bureau building, a.k.a. the new building over at the fairgrounds.
Perfect.
Of course, that's our early event.
Yeah.
Doors will open at 6 a.m., get everybody in and settled. We'll start serving breakfast probably right there about 6:15, 6:30. Get everybody through, settled, so we can start the program, because we really try hard to get everybody out the door by about 8 a.m. because we realize
people have to be work. Usually 8's about average for most people there.
And it's March 24th, which is a Thursday.
So about a month and a couple days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's once again 6 a.m. out at the fairgrounds. If somebody hasn't seen our invitation, if you're not getting our emails, please contact us, because we are working on selling our tables. We are honoring all of the sponsorships
from the past year,
2020.
2 years ago,
since it did get canceled at the very last minute. So anybody that was a sponsor in 2020 is still a sponsor.
You get all your swag from that one.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we are honoring that. But with that said, we are also never going to turn down anybody that would like to be a sponsor going forward.
We could use more new sponsors and things to help out. So if you didn't get in on it 2 years ago, and I missed the boat on that, good news. Now you can get in. Just reach out to the chamber here, and they'll be happy to give you all the information on levels of sponsorship and opportunities.
And let me tell you, tickets and tables are going quickly. So you definitely want to get with us sooner than later.
It's a good time. It really, it's a chance for us to honor our farmers and ranchers in that industry. Hence the reason why it's so darn early.
Well, as Miss Candy, Ms. Candia Spencer says, if you eat, you're part of ag.
Absolutely. So please come help us celebrate. It's always good eating. I've noticed anytime there's a farm or ranch related event, people know how to cook at those events, so the food's always good. And like I said, you got a great speaker here who's going to tickle your funny bone.
He is
give you
hilarious.
A few food for thought, probably things to walk away with here. And of course, if you're a farmer or rancher, please, I know that might be a busy time, but take the morning off, come and let us celebrate you. Come and enjoy a meal, and come and have a good time for an hour or two here before you get back to the fields and the farm. There.
That's right. And then, of course, the next big thing I'm so excited is we are bringing back fireworks to Roswell and Chaves County, because as we all know, this is the fourth year since the accident with the firefighters. So we have secured our fireworks. We have secured entertainment. We're going to have a concert beforehand with Kofi Anderson.
Country star.
Yes.
Who's a lot more expensive to get now than he was the last time.
That's right. He has since signed a major label. And he's best known for Mr. Red, White, and Blue, but of course he has lots of new material since then. He was here quite a few years ago when
the fair, right? If I remember right.
I think he was here for the fair, and then I also know that the chamber brought him in for one of the balloon rallies that they had done as well.
Okay.
And so, of course, when we reached out to him, he goes, "Oh my gosh, I love Roswell. I will be there." He goes, "And you have called at the exact right time, because I signed my label tomorrow, so I can give you
the planets aligned for us.
Deeply discounted rate." So we are so excited to have him come in. And of course, we are working on sponsorships for the fireworks and the concert, the whole event, because we want it to be free to the community. I do not want to have to charge anybody in the community. So anybody that wants to help with the cause, every dollar, every $5 helps, as well as, once again, if you want to be the guy that it's, Joe Schmuckatelli presents the fireworks, hey, you can write me a check and I'm not going to say no.
We'd love to have you be a part of it, absolutely.
And once again, those sponsorships are starting to sell pretty quickly because everybody's excited. We're reaching out to all the food trucks. We would love to have a handful of food trucks out there to provide food and refreshments. We're looking into having a beer garden.
Yeah, a very festival-like atmosphere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're, of course, going backwards from, let's see, 9:30-ish is probably when the fireworks will start because we do have to make sure it's dark.
Yep.
Fireworks don't do well at noon.
And July 4th, it's right in the middle of summer, which means the sun's out late. So
exactly. Yeah. So then going backwards from that, Kofi Anderson's going to do about a 90-minute to 2-hour concert for us.
Okay.
So that concert will probably start about 7:30, which means that we probably want to open the venue where we're going to be at Cielo Grande.
Yes.
We'll probably start opening everything then about 5:30 or so. So that way it's later in the afternoon. Go enjoy your picnics with your family and enjoy the day, and then come out to Cielo Grande for a concert and fireworks. And we're really working to have at least something for everybody. And of course, I have delusions of grandeur and I want it to be this huge thing. And it probably won't be what my mind's eye thinks for the first year, but we definitely have a goal going forward that in the next few years, what it'll look like.
Yeah.
So we're
celebrating the 4th.
That's right.
The way America does with fireworks and everything. July 4th, mark it on your calendars. Cielo Grande, make plans to attend. Like you said, everything will get underway roughly around 5:30.
Yeah.
But the party and everything will start with the concert, and then of course fireworks afterwards.
Yeah.
And
so come out.
Come make it your own. Come out. Maybe there's plenty of space to spread out there. Maybe maybe you like you said, come out, get a picnic blanket and everything. Go hit up one of the food trucks, or if you'd rather make your own and a little picnic, then do your thing. But
Absolutely.
come on out and be a part of it. Yeah.
We are really excited to do that, and I'm just so thrilled that we have the ability, that we're coming out of COVID, that we can all get together, we can celebrate this.
Yes.
And it's my pleasure to put in the hard work going forward. So like I said, once again, we're looking for sponsors on that whole deal. Give us a call, 575-623-5695. Stop by if you see any one of our red vehicles or Kyle's big black truck. We're there.
Yeah.
Sometimes the door is locked. Ring the doorbell.
Ring it, or knock, or
I promise we're watching, but if we're in the back or if it's just one or two of us in the office, we do keep that door locked.
For security reasons, you keep it locked. Absolutely. What about any business after hours or anything coming up? I know we had a couple this
Not
past week, but
not coming up in the super quick. Anything coming up super quick because we are really focusing on these meet and greets.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, Leadership Roswell is doing their out-of-town experience in Rio Doso again this year because, unfortunately, we were not able to go to Santa Fe.
It's, they go there and wouldn't have nothing to do.
Exactly, because we had really tried hard to get them up there.
Nobody's allowing anybody to come in to see
even the
anybody.
Roundhouse, I've been up there, and it's kind of sad because you go up to the Roundhouse, it's a ghost town. There is nobody walking the halls. They don't have anything going on the bottom floor where they usually have all of the tables
It's
and
all
vendors.
virtual and in offices and everything else.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have been able to go see, the Supreme Court, the governor's mansion.
Yeah, all the things they do in Santa Fe.
All the things that they do. So we could have hung out at the hotel, but okay, so what's the purpose?
You're right, yeah.
So we're just moving that to Rio Doso this year. So hopefully in 23 we'll be able to go back to Santa
Fe. But I will say this. Even though that group doesn't get to go to Santa Fe, they really do a great, like when they did Rio Doso last year, they got to do things that other classes never get to do.
Oh, it was so much fun.
So even though they did trade off a little bit, they got exclusive things that no other class got.
Correct.
So, and I imagine this class will get the exact same.
So once again, we've got Leadership Roswell. We'll be wrapping up in May. So there's only 2 more classes after they go to Rio Doso for overnight.
And then around the 4th of July time, they'll be hot and heavy getting the new class put together.
So if you're interested in doing Leadership Roswell, start thinking about it. And as soon as we go live with the applications,
We'll let
because you
everybody
have a very short period of time to turn those applications in.
I think they give you about 30 days or so on average.
But it's still pretty quick.
Well, it is
because
quick in
if
the
you
scheme of
think,
things,
tomorrow, all of a sudden it's closed, and we do shut it down at 5.
5 on that, usually Friday.
It's usually the last Friday of the month, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then Rick and his crew go through, and it's
pretty interesting
totally
process.
fair and random, because you've been a part
I've been
of that
a part
process.
of that process in the past, and it's very, it's a stringent process. I will tell you, if you've applied in the past, you gain weight in future applications. So if you tried, say, last year or the year before, and you didn't make the 30, if you apply again this year, you get more weight than someone that hasn't applied before. They understand that, look, if you keep trying, you have a desire, you have a and that's part of it. You know, we want people that want to be a part of this.
Exactly.
And by you applying every year and showing you're committed to do this, we're going to give you credit for that, and that's what they do. So, and I'm not going to lie, don't be disappointed. There's some people that took 3-4 times before they finally made the cut here. So, if you didn't make it the first time or even the second time, we usually get on average 50, 60, sometimes as many as 70 applications, and only 30
make it,
get in. So that's that's what
and
it is.
it's not first come first serve.
Yeah,
it is definitely, like, as you know, being part of the inside of all of that. But Rick really does a really good job that it's all anonymous. You don't know whose applications you're reading, but it's kind of on a scale that everybody kind of agrees together. Hey, these are the people, and the cutoff is the cutoff.
Yeah.
But also know that if you didn't get in right away, there's always at least onesies, twosies that start the class and may, for whatever reason, maybe a job opening, happen and they have to move away. If it's early enough, Rick's usually pretty good at calling the next people on the list saying, hey, you know what, something, Bonanza, you got in.
And Rick calls every single person.
He does.
Even the ones that don't make it. So if there's 50 of them out there, he calls all 50.
He does a really good job.
Including the 30 that makes it.
Because I'll tell you, the year I got in, I thought for sure he was going to tell me, sorry, you didn't get in. Because and it's just so funny, because he's like, hey, Andrea, I saw that you put your application in for Leadership Roswell. I'm so happy that you did it. And I'm calling you today because I got to talk to you. And I'm thinking, here we go.
But.
And he goes, but I want to congratulate you. You got in. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? Me? Like, who am I? I'm just, Joe Nobody.
Yeah.
And we had a great class, of course. Class of 2016 is the best class.
I'm a few years later. So I went the other route. I went and got letters of recommendation, and I didn't go quite Jeffrey level status, but I went and I got like the mayor, I got county manager, Stan Riggs at the time, scouting, president of ENMU, who at the time was very much a part of. He was a current one is too, but he was actually vice president at the time. But he was very much involved in Leadership Roswell I think on the alumni at that time. And so, excuse me, I stacked the deck in my favor because I'm a radio guy and know all these people. So I'm not going to lie, I had advantages that other people don't.
Well, I put in a bunch of my letters of recommendation too. And everybody knows me that I'm usually pretty blunt and to the point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I wrote my application. It was like, okay, each question I was like, oh, well, I don't need to answer this in 2 pages. It's 4 words.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was shocked that I got in.
Gotcha.
Because Rick is always like, really?
Elaborate.
He's like, really put your thought into it. And I'm like, well, I did put thought into it, but this question was only a 4-word answer.
My thought didn't require a whole paragraph or an essay to answer.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, for sure, it's going to take me 2.
Yeah.
And
I gave, standard answers to those, things like that. But I think what got me was I just literally had like 4 or 5 recommendation letters from people of importance.
Yeah. The committee that Rick has does change. It's not the same people all the time.
I've done it once a couple years ago, and I haven't done it
and
since.
So Rick's pretty good about making sure that it's definitely a level playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
And We also have the next issue of Roswell Now magazine will be hitting your doors in the next couple of weeks because it's at the printer. So the last week of February, first week of March, and it is fantastic. Good. Madeline Jones is awesome. I cannot give her enough kudos for what she does because she has really put together an awesome, stellar product. We've got a big spread on SWAP and kind of what they do on the medical side of cannabis. Cool. We've got an article in there, of course, with Coach Reeves. We've got an article in there about our national champion football team at the Institute.
And MMI, they won the JUCO championship.
Yes. Yeah. And we've got something about the Quilters Guild. I did not know that we have 2 Quilters Guilds.
I didn't know that either.
I had no idea. And so there's and then of course we have some of our standards, Liz's Local Loves. Yeah. We've got Miss Ava always does something about recipes. So she's got about 3 or 4 really cool little recipes. Okay. Of course, we've got
stuff for the home,
our zoo stuff in there, our kids corner. I always do a little letter in there.
Good deal.
And anybody that knows me, I can talk all day long, but when I have to put it onto paper, it takes me a little bit longer. Sure. I go back and forth. It takes me the whole quarter to write my letter because I'll have it written and I'm like, oh, that's all garbage, delete and start over.
Gotcha.
And so the staff laughs because they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm writing my letter. And they're like, but you have 90 days. I'm like, no, if I don't start now, it's over.
By the time the 90-day hits, I'll have it just perfect.
That's right.
We are running out of time.
Yeah,
here.
I saw that.
If anybody has any questions about anything, you can always come by the chamber and visit. You can always follow the chamber on social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, we started to really get onto Instagram as well.
Yeah, and of course, always call. Always call during business hours. Leave a voicemail. If no one answers, and they'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible.
We do call people back.
Yes.
575-623-5695 or 131 West 2nd. Come see us.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about any of the candidate meet and greets, don't hesitate to reach out here and come on out to some of these. So when you do decide to go vote, whether it's on the 1st or early here, that when you step up to make your boxes or circle in your little ovals there, you're doing it for the names that you believe in.
Correct.
So.
And if you're not getting the information other than when you hear me here, once again, contact us. We'll get you on our list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure that information gets to you. So, well, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you here next time.
Absolutely.
If not sooner. All right, it is 9:53. Let's go ahead and get you into Pecos Valley News Update, and then Wall Street Update, and then quick break. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin today in Carlsbad, where a man has been charged with robbery and for raping a store clerk. 37-year-old Kenneth Miller was arrested on Sunday after Carlsbad police said he went on a crime spree that included a series of crimes last weekend. The alleged crime spree ended at a convenience store on Pierce Street, where police say he raped the female store clerk over a 40-minute period. A SWAT team was called and removed Miller from the store. The investigation later revealed a robbery of a man at a Buffalo Wild Wings and the Hibbett Sports Store at the Northgate Mall, where Miller is accused of assaulting an employee. The Chavez County Health Council is providing residents with free COVID-19 at-home tests. The organization said it obtained 500 at-home rapid tests that it will give out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 to 1 both days. The event will be at the Health Council office, 1600 Southeast Main Street in Roswell. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very gusty wind today as a strong low-pressure system moves across New Mexico. We'll hit about 70 on our afternoon high, wind gusting to 45 miles per hour, and we should have sunshine. Windy overnight, down to 35 and partly cloudy, and then maybe an early shower on Thursday. Sunny in the afternoon, still breezy and cooler, high around 50. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. The Goddard Rockets had a chance to wrap up the District 4 Boys Basketball Championship in Class 4A by beating Lovington last night. Alas, it did not happen. Lovington won that game 54-51, so Goddard can still wrap up the district by beating Artesia on Friday night. They host the Artesia boys at 7 o'clock. But with a loss, that opens the door for both Lovington and Portales for a tie at the top of the district. Meanwhile, in girls play last night, it was Goddard knocking off Lovington, no problem there. 64-18. Goddard moves to 13-11 on the season, 3-2 in district, but that district was wrapped up yesterday when Portales, which is undefeated in district play, knocked off Artesia in Artesia. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Americans picked up the pace of spending in January. The threat of Omicron faded, and there was some easing of supply shortages.
Retail sales rose a seasonally adjusted 3.8% last month compared to the prior month, when the number dropped to a revised 2.5%. Sales at general merchandise stores rose 3.6%, while department stores saw business up 9.2%. Online sales surged 14.5%.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The U.S. accusing China of failing to meet commitments to the World Trade Organization says it's exploring new ways to combat aggressive Chinese trade practices. For the second straight month, the barometer of homebuilder confidence has fallen. The National Association of Home Builders monthly index slid 1 point this month, following an identical drop last month. Home builders hard hit by supply disruptions. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com. Wilbanks Trucking Services is seeking dedicated, responsible, and committed professionals to join their team. CDL and non-CDL positions are available. Wilbanks Trucking Services offers comprehensive training, excellent benefits including housing, and opportunity for advancement. They understand the importance of family and maintaining a work-life balance, making your family their priority. To join the leaders in oilfield services, call 575-746-3618 or visit wilbanks.us for more information on career opportunities. Wilbanks Trucking Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for allowing us to be part of your day. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow.